Okay, I think we're live. Let's see here. It is 1:26. Sorry I'm late. Let's see here. We have hope everybody's doing well. We have Paula in here. Good to see Paula. And Paula, yes, I am going live. We have Farqu's in here right there. Good to see Farq. Good to see there's Nicole right there. Good to see Nicole. Hope Nicole's doing well. Hope Farqu's doing well. Um, You'll be listening while you cook. Fantastic. What are you cooking? Let's see here. We got. I just saw Peggy O. Some of this Vicarious Vigilante right there. There's Peggy O. right there. Good to see Peggy. We got Tracy's in here. There's Tracy right there, also known as Quad. We got Lita Joe in here. Always good to see Lita Joe. Let's see here. We got Mustang's in here too. Good to see Mustang. Hope Mustang's doing well. Let's see here. Always good to see everybody. We're going to go over the true crime cases of the week. I got a couple of things that just came in earlier tonight that I'm going to play too. What else are we doing tonight? We're going to do a couple of cold case things. Going to go over some updates in some other cases too this week, and then let's see here. What else are we going to do? Missing, obviously. But anyways, let's happy to see this Heather right there. Good to see Heather. Always good to see Heather in here. Heather's amazing. Thank you, Mustang, for putting that in here. Like I said, if you guys get channels, feel free to throw it in the chat because I like to promote other creators, great creators. Peggy O's one of them, and there's Paula's got a great channel too. So let me play my intro, and then we'll be right back. We'll get going. Let's see here. What are we doing? We'll do this. Like I said, it's good to see everybody. I'll be right back, and we'll get going. All right, so we got let's see here. We got Fiends in here too. Fiends right there. Pertinent's in here. Good to see everybody. Like I said, we got Becky's in here too. It's good to see Pertinent in here. Let's see here. We had Honeybee was in here a couple of weeks ago. Hope she's okay. Always good to see Honeybee. I haven't seen Miranda Lee around for a while. I hope she's okay. Let's see here. And let's see here. Cindy Lean is right there. Cindy Lean just popped in right there. Good to see you, Cindy Lean. Good to see everybody. Get away from my cat. Go lie down. Taking care of some dog shit. All right, so let's get going here. I guess we'll start. Hold on, we're going to start here. Hold on one second here while I bring this up here. Let's see here. There's just so many cases going on this week. You just don't know where to start. But I guess we'll start here. So this happened. I don't know exactly when this happened, but we're going to play it anyways. This happened. I believe this was down in Florida. Hold on a second here.
It happened on Exodus Way in the Normandy.
So we'll play this here. We'll play a couple of these here because I don't know what happened here. I do know. Hold on one second. Back over here. I do know this happened. I think it was last week. And it's one of these cases where it seems like this guy just went crazy here. So a mother and wife of two of the three deadly stabbing victims speaks out. So apparently this guy, it was over money. It was over like $600 or so. But I believe this is in Florida. Um, and I'll play the one before this one here next. So let's play this here to get some sort of an idea of what the hell's going on here.
Exodus Way in the Normandy Estates area, and that's where we find Action News Jack's Madison Foglio. Madison, this family is devastated.
Amy Barber says she loved her daughter very much, and she just can't come to the fact that she's gone.
Yeah, I saw my kids' name. That's Kirsten, Shayla, Savannah.
Amy Barber fighting through tears as she reads the names of her 5 kids tattooed on her arm. She asked that we not show her face for this interview. In the last hour, she learned from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office that her youngest child, Savannah Barber, and her husband, Edwin Barber, were 2 of the 3 victims stabbed to death this morning.
That's baby girl.
JSO got called to Exodus Way at 3:50 this morning to reports of a person stabbed. That person was transported to the hospital where he later died. After scoping out the area, 2 more people, a man and a woman, were found at another residence stabbed down the road. They were pronounced dead at the scene.
Gretchen is here. Good to see Gretchen. Always good to see Gretchen in here. Hope Gretchen's doing well. Hope things are going well for you. I know last week we left off where you were, you had at least a date on when you were going to be getting out of there. Good to see you always. Just going over this case down in, I think this is out of Florida. I could be wrong though.
JSO says they believe this was an isolated domestic incident and there is no threat to the community. I asked Amy to describe what Savannah was like.
Me and her had her ups and downs, but she always had to get the last ending. But if I needed her, she was there. She needed me, I was there. She was just an outgoing, happy person, just always.
Savannah's best friend, Kristen Green, who also didn't want to go on camera, says she knew Savannah since she was 11 years old.
She was always there for anybody that needed her.
This is so horrible. Like, why would somebody do this? Now, I still don't know. I don't know the actual reason why this happened or when this happened, but this came up on my feed here, so I figured I'd play it.
She was a great, she was a good girl. I can say, definitely, gonna miss her. And we're still
Sounded pretty genuine, right?
working to confirm the identity of the 3rd victim, but something else that Amy told me.
This was done 2 days ago. So
JSO told her that they have
I believe that would be like Thursday.
detained a suspect in this case. I reached out to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to confirm if that was true, and they said that they were not aware of that at this time. But be sure to stay with Action News Jax as we continue to stay on top of this developing story. For local coverage you can count on, I'm Madison.
All right, hold on. Let me get out of this one here. That didn't give us much information. So let's go here to this one. This one here. Hold on a second here. All right, so this one was done. Let's see. Yeah, this was done 13 hours ago. So this is the most updated one here. Mother, wife, sister, and friend all trying to come to terms with their new reality. She didn't deserve this, or my husband, or even Shat, any of them. So Savannah Barber's mother and Edward Barber's wife, I just don't understand it. Nobody understands this. So let's play this one, see if we can get more. This one is the one where I think this was over money or something like that. Hold on.
Deadly triple stabbing is speaking out for the first time since her death. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested 30-year-old Austin Fisher Thursday after a long standoff with police. Action News Jax Madison Foglio reports Savannah's mother says the incident happened after an argument over money.
Let's see here. Can I post a shocking article that is not true crime? But yes, absolutely.
She not deserve this, or my husband, or even Chad, any of them. It's just like, This was something that I just don't understand it.
A mother, wife, sister, and friend, all trying to come to terms with their new reality. JSO arrested 30-year-old Austin Fisher Thursday. He is charged for the murder.
Okay, so I'm going to play that again just in case because I was backstage doing something. Hold on a second. A mother, they said a mother.
All trying to come to terms with their new reality. JSO arrested 30-year-old Austin Fisher Thursday. He is charged for the murders of Savannah Barber, Edwin Barber,
So these three people here, I think.
and Shad Cole. JSO was called out to Exodus Way around 3:50 Thursday morning to reports of someone being stabbed.
JSO, I am assuming, stands for Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. That's
When they got there, they found Edwin Barber on a porch, stabbed in the chest. He was transported to the hospital, where he later died. Police went into Barber's house, where they found Savannah Barber also stabbed. While searching the area, they also found Shad Cole stabbed on the porch of another.
Dom's in here. Good to see Dom. Hope you're feeling better for sure. Yeah, I'm going to play that in a couple of minutes here. Not so much. Just wanted to say you're not feeling. You're still not feeling good. Just wanted to say hi to you all. I hope you get better, buddy. Let us know how you're feeling. All right, here we go.
Another house. Both Savannah and Shad were pronounced dead at the scene.
I was told that the original argument started over $600 that was supposed to be missing.
Barber said Fisher lived in the back shed on the property. She learned from JSO that Fisher allegedly waited until everyone was asleep to stab the victims.
After he did what he did, Savannah was still alive. He went back, realized.
This is just awful. This is just terrible. Why would somebody do this? Was he claiming that they stole the $600 or something? Is that what he thought? This is weird.
He would not leave no witnesses.
After that, Barber says Fisher tried to.
It's 101 SB's in here. Good to see you, for sure. I have no idea. I'm going to be playing that shortly here. That I think they said it was some sort of a meteor or meteor dust or something like that. But anyways, it's good to see everybody. Hope everybody's well. Just going over this case out of Jacksonville, I think.
To make a getaway.
He paid somebody $100 to call Uber for him, told that person what he did. I do wish a death penalty, but I feel giving somebody the legal injection, anything, that is the easy way out.
For local coverage you can count on, I'm Madison Foglio, Action News Jax.
And Austin Fisher had his first court appearance yesterday morning. He's facing robbery and murder charges. He remains in jail without bond.
Okay, good. That's good news. He's in jail. So at least they found him. No threat to the public anymore, and he'll probably be there for a long time. 101, do you have a channel? Thank you, Mustang, for putting all the channels in here. Like I said, most people have wrenches so that if they have channels, and it's good to see that Heather's got a channel now too. That's absolutely freaking amazing. Dewey Ox is in here. Good to see Dewey Ox. Quadas babies. All right, so let's move on to another case. I'll keep an eye on that. Dino's in here. There's Dino right there. Let's help our awesome friend Gretchen pull through this tough time she and her family are going through. You're all the best. Okay, so this is our good friend Gretchen's GoFundMe page here. She's been displaced because of natural things here. So let's keep her in the thoughts here. It's always good to see Dino in here. Thank you, Dino, for putting that in there. And again, I'll try to throw this down in the description so that it's in there somewhere. It's always good to see people helping out other people. Hopefully Gretchen's doing good. Pending a few more lessons on how to go live, I will be relaunching Electric Werecat Truth or Nickel. That's awesome. The more the better. That's what I say. If I can do this, anybody can do this. This is all right, so let's get out of this here. I'm going to go to this. Hold on a second here. I'm not as prepared as I wanted to. I wanted to do this too, because this is kind of like follow up on this case here. If Dirty Diana was in here, she'd be all over this. Hold on one second here. Let me play this. So this is the case that happened last year. They were looking for this guy. He basically unalived his 3 daughters. This is the case of Travis Decker here. This was all the way out in Wenatchee County, I think, or Wenatchee, Washington, I think, in the Cascades. And they were looking for him for forever. Come to find out, he was like, I don't know, a mile from where he basically escaped from. So this is kind of like a follow-up. 1 year. I can't believe it's been a year already. Holy shit. 1 year since Wenatchee, this guy unalived his 3 daughters. And I kind of previewed this before, and it almost seems like they're, feeling sorry for this guy a little bit. I don't feel sorry for him at all. But here we go with this.
Evelyn and Olivia, on Monday, we recognized that we had a major incident on our hands.
It's been 1 year since a Wenatchee father kidnapped and killed his 3 young daughters and then went on the run. The nationwide search for Travis Decker ended in Chelan County 4 months later.
Now, KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin spent hundreds of hours reporting on this case. And 1 year later, investigators are speaking exclusively.
Do you guys all remember this case here? We covered this all the way to when they finally found him.
To her about how they believe Decker died, why it took so long to find him, and what finally led to the location of his remains.
Whitney came to the lobby to report that, her kids hadn't returned home yet.
What started as a possible miscommunication
We get parenting plan disputes kind of routinely in the region.
quickly turned into a case that still hangs over the Wenatchee Valley. Wenatchee police were the first to find out Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker were missing.
He would always bring the girls to their events and always participate and want to spectate at those events. And there were a couple on Saturday that they didn't show up to.
2 days later, Decker's truck was found at the Rock Island campground just outside of Leavenworth, with the sisters' bodies abandoned nearby.
The very bad outcome has occurred, and the hunt is on.
You're looking at a county that is 2,900 plus square miles, 87% not accessible by road, and we have a limited amount of resources.
That search brought in every agency available.
Essentially requesting a blank check for resources, and they said you have.
So I just wanted to give people an update here. It's freaking 38 degrees outside here. 38. Yep. It's absolutely freaking freezing. And I'm starting to get a little pissed off because we want summer here, bro. This is getting ridiculous here. It's been freaking cold right along. We had a couple of days over 80, I think, back a few weeks ago. But once again, we're in the freaking freezer here. And it's terrible. It feels like winter out there right now. It's 38 degrees. It's 5:31. It's May 31st. So, just terrible. Sorry.
Have it, go, whatever you need, ask for it, and you're going to get it.
During the hunt, a dozen teams tried to track down Decker.
We got a 3-day head start on us.
Crews hiked shoulder to shoulder on grid searches, used helicopters and drones.
It's just sad because we got like 8 weeks of summer here, technically, in New England, especially where I am. And if we don't get all 8 weeks, it feels like a very short. Balmy, you can come to Florida, Dave. I used to live in New England. I know how it is. Yeah, it's terrible. Like, I want my freaking 8 weeks of summer here. But anyways, let's see. It's supposed to be in the 60s later on today. Even 60s right now is cold. I want 80. Let's do 80 to 90. I'm 43 here in Berrytown, Michigan, so it's cold there too. Great. But it feels like we're going to get a frost tonight. That's what it feels like because it's 38 now, And you figure with daytime cooling, nighttime cooling here, it's freaking cold.
And combed through hundreds of tips, still assuming Decker might be alive.
There were no leads that weren't pursued, including leads overseas.
The treacherous
People think I'm weird up here because I love, like, most of the rest of my family lives in Florida. They live down on the western side, next to Tampa, and I could live in Florida, right? Like it can't get hot enough for me, especially now that I'm in my old age. I like the hotter the better. I could care less if it was 90 degrees every single day. I'd be happy. Even 60s and 70s to me these days is cold. I just and I love humidity. The more humid it gets, like we used to go to Hilton Head a lot, Hilton Head, South Carolina. It gets really muggy there, and I freaking love it.
terrain complicated all search efforts.
Because it is rough and it's steep and it's just a billion places to hide.
Intense operations in June yielded no results.
I was just hoping for like a trail camera of him.
In August, a grid search by the FBI.
Jenny 8675309 is here. It's always good to see Jenny. Jenny's right there. Got my dog sleeping close, warming me up. Yep. That's the thing, dogs, right? Dogs are gonna constantly be warm. That's good to hear, though, Dewey. So glad you're well. Yes, absolutely. I hope everybody's well. West Side Tampa, but already feels like temps are almost 100 already. God, you could throw some of that heat up here, man. Just a little bit of, just half of that would be good right now. I freaking love Dino is the best. Dino's amazing. Dino's a good guy. What part of New England were you from? It's a good question. Bull Mastiff, huge dog. Bull Mastiff.
I almost brought answers.
How close did you get, if at all, to where his remains were actually found?
It was within about an acre. Yeah, he was just outside of the search zone, up in an area that required more technical.
That's who we are here with great people. Everybody in here is great. Oh, I forgot to put my, hold on a second here. I always forget to put on the ticker here. Hold on a second here. I like this one here because actually right there. Gail Hurd used to come in here all the time. Gail Hurd was an amazing freaking human being. She'll always be missed. So let me put this one on here. Take that one off of here. There we go. Awesome. Okay, very good. Are they really babies, or you're taking care of that many babies? How many? Brian's in here. Good to see Brian. I hope Southern Gal's all right too. I haven't seen Southern Gal in a while. There's a lot of people sick though right now. Maybe it's because of the weather. Who knows? You're originally from Massachusetts. Okay, sorry. Let's get on with this here.
Safety equipment for searchers to be able to access.
Finally, in September, they got a break in the case.
I'm a forensic and operational psychologist.
Dr. Stacy Chiquette looked at his declining mental health, military background, religious beliefs, and more.
My hypothesis is that while very, very misguided, he did believe that he was protecting his daughters.
She says Decker's love for the girls was evident.
I found many, many documents that he had kept from his children, whether they were letters that the girls had written him, photos they had drawn, so many things that told me he loved his girls so much.
All of this clicking puzzle pieces right into place.
I hypothesized that it was very, very likely that he would want to be able to see them or be in line of sight.
I'm trying to find a body in here. It's not easy, sure. But this guy here was like, I don't know, 1,000 yards away from where he actually disappeared. That's what I was told anyways.
when he passed away.
Decker's remains were found on Grindstone Mountain, a sheer cliffside less than a mile from where the girls were killed.
I'm guesstimating that there would have been probably that 24 to 48 hour window that I believe he most likely succumbed to hypothermia just based off the conditions, what clothing he was wearing.
Morrison says the remains were scattered by animals, but DNA tests.
Yeah, Gail was an amazing person. She'll always be missed here. Gretchen loves. The first 5 are all over the place and lots of fun to watch. 3-week-olds are still in their nest, moving into the playpen tomorrow. That's awesome.
Testing confirms the bones are a match.
And we don't have any concerns that we have not found him or confirmed his whereabouts.
It was an incredible relief. It was a surge of adrenaline. It was at the same time a very happy moment and
That's a good question. I haven't seen Barbara around. I haven't seen Charlotte, although Charlotte posted something. She must have changed her schedule or something, so I have heard from Charlotte. But Southern Gal, I haven't seen Southern Gal for a while. I don't know if she had a live or not. I'm sure she's fine. It just I haven't seen Mr. Steve around either for forever.
incredibly tragic moment, bringing this to closure.
Look at these 4 freaking kids, man. This case here.
In Chelan County, Brooke Griffin, KIRO 7 News.
Those law enforcement agencies.
Look at this. These 3 kids no longer here. Just like I said, we followed this case here almost 4 weeks or so, I think.
Say the devastating nature of this case is shaping how their department now deals with PTSD among employees.
So tomorrow evening, Brooke will explain what they're doing to strengthen their mental health resources.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a little bit too late now. Mr. Steve was in Cryptex Live last weekend. Okay, so he's still alive. She didn't have a live, Dave. Jeez, I hope she's okay. 6 new kittens born tonight. Wow. That's fantastic. Don't tell my daughter that. She'll want one. 15 babies. Whoa. Okay, so let's move on. I just wanted to play that because I was kind of like an update year anniversary on that, if you want to call it an anniversary. All right, so what am I doing now? I do want to play this here. Hold on one second. These are all kind of updated cases. I know we had we'll play this one here instead. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is another updated case here. Let me share this. Hold on one second here. We followed this to so the father, I believe the father's already pled guilty to this. He got another break in the case. I think he's going to do maybe 16 years. I don't know, whatever. But remember this case. This is the baby Emmanuel case. Remember, he was. I don't think they've even found him. But the mother was saying that she was knocked out by the car in a parking lot, and that somebody took the baby. Just terrible people here. Who knows what's going on with this, but she pled guilty finally in connection with the I don't know what she's pleading guilty to, but I don't think they found him. So Rebecca Harrow is pleading guilty in connection to the death of her 7-month-old son, Emmanuel Harrow. Remember this poor little kid. Preliminary hearing was supposed to determine whether Becca would stand trial on a felony count of murder. Harrow pleaded guilty to child endangerment, involuntary manslaughter, really, and an accessory after the fact, avoiding a criminal trial. This stuff sucks, man. Jake Harrow was sentenced to 25 years to life, so he'll do probably 18, 16 years, somewhere around there, after pleading guilty to Emmanuel's murder, whose body has not been found. So she's going to get off with a slap on the wrist here, and they still haven't found this kid's body. It's just, this stuff here is aggravating. So here we go with this.
All right, let's go ahead and call the matter of People versus Rebecca Renee Harrow, case number FE.
So you're moving out of the motel on Monday. That's fantastic. That's good news, right? Alterum Labs has a YouTube channel now. It features the case. I saw that. Yes, I've been following that. Going to Illinois this next week. Aurora and Oswego Big Rock road trip to see friends. That's awesome. All right, so let me see here. Just trying to keep up with the chat too. All right, here we go. Remember this case? Remember the Emmanuel Harrow thing? She said she was knocked out. Somebody punched her while she was trying to change the baby here, and somebody took him, and it's just we all knew that was not true.
ERI 2504808-2. Council, please state your appearances.
Morning, Your Honor. Jeff.
Morning, Your Honor. William Robinson for the People.
All right, good morning to you all. So we're here today for a preliminary hearing, but I understand that the parties have in the interim resolved the matter. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, so I have a copy of the plea agreement here. I understand that under the terms of the plea agreement, the People will be moving to amend the complaint. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Counts 3, 4, and 5. 4, 5, and 6. Count 4 will be a violation of Penal Code Section 273AA. Attached to that will be an allegation pursuant to 12022.7 subdivision D, causing great bodily injury to a child under 5. And count 5 will be an amended violation of Penal Code Section 192 subdivision B, involuntary manslaughter. And then count 6 will be an amended count 6 will be a violation of Penal Code Section 32, accessory after the fact of murder.
Do you have any specific dates for those counts?
Yes, counts 4 and 5 will be the same date range that is on the current amended complaints. Counts 1, 2, and 3. For count 6.
Don't you think that one of these people should have to give up the whereabouts of this kid? I mean, this is ridiculous.
The accessory, the date range is August 5th through August 22nd, 2005.
All right, any objections from the defense as to those modifications and additions?
No objection, waive formal reading and advisement, waive formal arraignment. Pass that for the moment, at least not guilty pleas and denials of allegations be entered.
All right, the court will accept and enter the plea of not guilty to all of those counts. All right, so.
Okay, so they're not. So she's not pleading guilty to everything.
Unless there's anything else, then I'll go ahead and take the plea this time.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Harrow, good morning to you. All right, so I understand that it looks like you've entered into a plea agreement with the People. Just very generally, I'm not going to go into all of the details at this moment, but I just want to make sure that you understand the general terms of the agreement.
Okay, so hold on 1 second here. The charges in the plea, the conviction, bypassing a scheduled trial, Rebecca Harrow pleaded guilty to felony child endangerment resulting in great bodily injury, involuntary manslaughter, and being an accessory after the fact. This is insane. Under the plea agreement, she was immediately sentenced to 12 years and 8 months in a state prison. Unbelievable. Prosecutors determined that Emmanuel suffered from prolonged severe abuse and died from abusive head trauma at the hands. So that she's blaming the father. Authorities concluded that while Rebecca Harrell did not physically inflict the fatal injuries, she was aware of his deteriorating health, failed to protect him, and helped cover up the crime. Unbelievable. And obviously, like I said, they haven't found him. I'm just kind of reading from AI here. Sorry, I didn't take you guys with me, but this is crazy. I mean, this stuff here, unbelievable. 12 freaking years, 12 years and 8 months in state prison. So that means, I don't know, 6 years maybe? She'll be lucky if she does 6 years. Nobody knows where the baby is. Oh, this is terrible. This is like...
So under this agreement that you have with the people, it looks like...
Oh, look at, she's crying now, right? She's really sad now. Oh my God, these people aggravate me.
You're going to be pleading to a one count of child endangerment with a violation of great bodily injury, also another count of involuntary manslaughter, and then finally one count of accessory after the fact. Together, those counts carry a total sentence under your agreement with the...
You know, I usually try to side, with the mom in these cases here because, I don't know, sometimes it's, you never know what's going on in people's homes and stuff like that. But she knew prosecutors admits prolonged severe abuse and died from abusive head trauma. And this piece of shit dad here had been convicted of this before. So it's not like this is his first time. And he pleaded right away. He was smart. He knew how to mock the system here. And, these people are going to get away scot-free from this. It's terrible. This woman here. Yes, I've said that, like when they had that interview. Remember the interview where they were claiming that they didn't know where he was and he was missing and all. You could tell that both of them were lying right through their teeth. Yeah, she's crying because she's caught now and she's going to have to do some time. But, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
People of 12 years and 8 months.
You can get more time for smoking dope. Man, this is crazy.
In exchange, among other things, the people will be dismissing the other counts against you, which includes the count for murder. I know those are not all of the details of your agreement with them, but are those the general, is that your general understanding of your agreement with them?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I have a document here. It has some initials on the right side, as well as the back, and some signatures. Are these your initials and signatures?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you understand that under that this agreement goes through some of the rights and consequences of you pleading guilty today? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
One is your right to have a trial, where 12 jurors will have to agree beyond a reasonable doubt that the people have satisfied their burden of proof.
JP isn't here. And I'm going to kind of read this too. Good to see JP. JP's got a great channel. I try to promote JP as much as possible. He's a great musician. He does great work. Hold on a second here. So the story was they faked a kidnapping in August 2025, which is almost a year ago. The couple reported that Emmanuel had been kidnapped during a surprise attack outside a sporting goods store in Euclipia, California. I probably butchered that name. Yucaipa, California. However, investigators quickly found inconsistencies in their story and determined the abduction never occurred. The interview that they had outside where they were faking crying, you could tell they were faking. She may not know her husband may have taken this little body away. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that she doesn't know where the child is, but I forgot to charge my phones. I will have to watch all of you make fun of me on TV. Okay, we can do that. I'm just kidding. Let's see here. I want to know where she got the black eye she had during the interviews. Yeah. She probably punched herself in the face. All right, let's go back to this here.
You understand that? Yes, Your Honor. And so by agreeing to plead guilty, there's going to be no trial. You waive that right to have a trial by jury, and instead you'll be sentenced by the court. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before.
I mean, that's why I try to kind of at least side, because you never know. I mean, she might have been being abused herself, but this piece of crap dad there, the guy, he'd already pretty much done it before. Wasn't the first time that he was abusive. Is Dino going to sleep? Have a good night, buddy. Always good to see Dino in here. Dino's a great guy. Otherwise, both be black, telling her twice. Too much. This woman here. This woman here. Hold on a second. Media assets. Where am I? Right here. This woman here deserves this, as far as I'm concerned. Hold on a second. Great acting. The acting is fantastic. Is it possible that her husband? It is possible for sure. But she was up there. I might play the interview a little later.
Signing and initialing this form, did you have a chance to go through all of the rights on that form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have a chance to discuss everything with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that besides the right that you're giving up to have a trial, one of some of the other rights that you'll be giving up is?
Yeah, I'm sure that the husband was probably the main contributor here in this. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me. I'm going to see if I can find that. Oh, it's right there. Okay, so I'll see if I can find that, and then I'll play that because it's important here. Let's go here. All right.
If you're not a United States citizen, if you plead guilty, your conviction will almost certainly have an impact on your ability to remain in this country. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that one of the rights that you'll be giving up is possessing, owning, or having access to any firearms, ammunition, paraphernalia, anything like that? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need any more time to speak to your attorney about anything, including the rights that you'll be giving up, anything, before entering your guilty plea today?
No, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you or forcing anyone close to you, exerting any pressure?
All right, hold on a second. Let me go back to this here. Let me get out of this because I found. Hold on a second here. This is just a short, but I think I can play this. Hold on a second. So this was August 15th, 2025. This is like right after this happened. And this is her in this interview here, or they were kind of speaking out about this. There's the black guy right there. So here we go.
And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son.
Look at this kid. I mean, why would somebody do this to this kid? It's just so. It's depressing that people can get away with this shit, man.
A 7-month-old baby boy was reportedly kidnapped right out of this Big Five parking lot. This is 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro, one of 5 children in this family from Cabazon, reportedly kidnapped last night in Yucaipa. Now, his mom told me that they were here last night at a nearby football stadium in Yucaipa with the other kids playing youth football, and she had to run down here to Big Five to buy some equipment for her stepson, specifically a mouth guard. When she got here to the parking lot, she says that's when she noticed her 7-month-old's diaper needed to be changed. So she says she got out of her truck, went around to the back, and laid him down on the seat to change his diaper when she was attacked from behind.
I got him out of the car seat.
There's nothing here. If you're gonna do this, you gotta act really good. You gotta literally make yourself cry so you can see tears. There's no there's nothing here. There's nothing at all. And when this took place, right as she was doing this here, I like Susan Smith vibes all over this right here.
And I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said,
But somebody did whack her. I mean, something did happen right here. So I wonder, I don't know how that happened.
hold on, that's all I remember. And I saw white. And a hearing sound, I fell on the floor.
She saw white.
And I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked around my truck, and I ran into Big Five. And I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no. It was a happy boy. He smiled.
It's embarrassing. This whole thing is freaking embarrassing. This woman is crazy. It's just who cries like that? Nobody cries like that. Nobody.
Whoever took our son.
And then this guy here. Oh.
Please give him back.
The search for this 7-month-old baby boy continues. Police.
So that still makes me just people need to do a better job acting. I mean, that's terrible. That's bad actor's terrible. At least this is his second time, so he's probably a little bit more advanced than she is, but still.
Pressure on you or anyone close to you in order for you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you did in fact do what the people allege that you have done?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Robinson,
You
would be
knuckled in the
prepare
eye.
a factual basis to be cited in court.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Smith.
Sure. Do you want me to take a factual basis?
Yes, Ms. Haro. So I'm going to have the prosecutor right now read a factual basis, and basically what this is
It's Just Jaylene is in here. Good to see Just Jaylene. Hope you're well. Always good to see Just Jaylene. Yeah, these cases here make me angry because, where the hell is DCF involved, DCYF, and all of these, things that are supposed to be, for these things, and they're nowhere to be found. I mean, it literally says right here, prosecutors determined that Emmanuel suffered prolonged severe abuse. Where the hell is, I mean, it's nobody does anything. I mean, and then when they finally catch them, they get slapped on the wrist. It's crazy.
is what they believe that they can prove if this case were to proceed to trial. I want
Oops. Hold on a second. I thought I had, hold on a second. I thought I had reshared this. Sorry.
Subsection A, which is child endangerment, a felony. Guilty or not guilty? Do you admit or deny the violation under Penal Code Section 12022.7D, which is conduct resulting in great bodily injury? Do you admit or deny?
So apparently StreamYard is having issues tonight because I switched back to the live stream here, and apparently it didn't work. So I apologize for that, but we're back now.
That allegation. How do you plead to count 5, which charges a violation of Penal Code Section 192B, which is involuntary manslaughter? Guilty or not guilty? And finally, how do you plead to count 6, which charges a violation of Penal Code Section 32, which is an accessory after the fact? Guilty or not guilty? All right, does counsel join?
I do.
I'm sorry, man. This is not working. None of this stuff here is, I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry at all for any of this. I just, when it comes to kids, man, it's a little different because somebody should have said something, like, the Emmanuel having prolonged severe abuse. I mean, somebody should have said something, and somebody should have done something, right?
Counsel, it just occurred to me, under the terms of the agreement, defendant would also be admitting to one of the aggravated factors. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and it's delineated in the plea agreement, the plea form in the sentencing section on the last line right above the credits. There's an admission to 4.421, I believe.
And somebody should have to give this child up. Somebody should have to be forced to, if they're going to take these deals, somebody should have to cough up where this kid is.
And then finally, Ms. Hardo, do you admit or deny the aggravating factor under California Rule of Court, Rule 4.421A3, which is that?
Yeah. Nobody cries very few people are going to cry like that. You got to have some sort of moisture coming from your eyes or nose or something. Nobody does that. I haven't seen anybody anyways.
The victim, Baby Doe, was particularly vulnerable. Do you admit or deny? All right, and counsel joins. All right, so after directly examining the defendant, the court finds that the defendant understands the nature of the charges against her, the consequences of her plea, and that her plea is free and voluntary, and that she has no.
I also feel bad for the other kids, obviously in the family, that have to, live for the next how many years without dad or mom. It's like crazy. All right, so let's get out of this. She's really pissed. I don't like her at all. She's doesn't deserve my attention, that's for sure. All right, so I'll keep an eye on that though, because hopefully they can find out where he is. And I'm pretty sure it's not very good. That just sucks. He's such a cute little kid. So let's go here to this case here. I believe I know who this is here. I believe this is the case on Massachusetts. Yes, this is Lindsay Clancy. Was back in court Thursday for a hearing to review items needed by both the defense and the state before the trial. She allegedly unalived her 3 kids, all under the age of 5, in January 2023. I guess she told her husband, remember this case, she told her husband to go out and run some errands while she, I think this woman here might have had some sort of postpartum or something like that going on. She is expected to be back in court June 18th and will be in person at the time. This was all done via stream here. So remember, we covered this case numerous times here. I believe this is right down here in Massachusetts. So let's go here.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, May 28th, 2026. This is
You know what I think? The Harmony Montgomery case, I have a feeling it's possible that both of those people, especially the douchebag Adam Montgomery, were probably so either strung out on drugs or inebriated that they probably don't know where they dropped her off. So, I mean, that's just my thinking, because you would have thought he would have given that up by now, right? Because he probably would have gotten the same kind of treatment if he would at least just given up the whereabouts of Harmony, right? But it's possible that he was so, I mean, he is the biggest piece of shit ever. I mean, that guy there, he deserves the worst possible punishment in the history of punishments. But it's possible that he was so inebriated that he probably doesn't even know where he dropped her off. All right, here we go here with this.
the fourth criminal session at Plymouth Superior Court before the Honorable Justice William Sullivan. Your Honor, the matter before the court is docket number 2383CR00198, Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present by way of Zoom. Counsel is present in the courtroom. Your Honor, counsel, if you could please state your name for the record. We can start with the Commonwealth. Good morning, Jennifer Sprague for the Commonwealth.
Terry Sprague, good morning.
Shannon Buckingham, also for the Commonwealth.
Terry Buckingham, good morning.
Morning, Judge Kevin Reddington on behalf of Ms. Clancy, who obviously is with us in Zoom.
Hi, Ms. Reddington, good morning, and Ms. Clancy, good morning. All right, so this is really more of just a status type conference. I just kind of wanted to see where we are in regards to discovery issues, and then also discuss kind of what we're going to do. The next date, which will be the final trial conference, is June 18th. All right, so I just kind of I had a different date in my head, but I just wanted to confirm that. All right, so I guess first off, where are we in regards to the discovery? I understand that the examiner's report was filed. So, Commonwealth?
Yes, one out of the three examiners' reports were filed. Dr. Mack is working on his report, should have it to us sometime next week. Dr. Satoff is interviewing the defendant tomorrow, and then again should have his report either next week or the week after. And then I think discovery will be complete on the Commonwealth's part. At that point, we turned over a last.
I mean, like I said, it's one thing to, I guess it's one thing to not have knowledge, but when you read the, prolonged to severe abuse, I mean, how old was he? He was, I forget how old he actually was. So what is prolonged severe abuse? Abusive head trauma. It's like, why? It doesn't, that's, I'll never understand that. It's just so crazy.
A little bit of discovery regarding toxicology from the autopsies of the children this week. That was the only.
I mean, I don't want to say I'm better than anybody else, but, like you try to do the best you can with your kids, right? Like, I stop the car sometimes with the car seat in the back because one of my daughters used to like to sleep in the car in the car seat with her neck tilted. So I used to, stop on the side of the road to make sure she was still alive. Like, oh my God, what happened? And these pieces of shit just, don't have a care in the world. And when they get caught, they get 12 years for unaliving a child. I don't care if you're an accessory or not. is a slap on the wrist, man. People go to prison for less than that, man, for 12 years. It's just so, I don't know. It's my soapbox. I'm sorry.
Only thing from the lab outstanding. So that's all set. The records from Mass General Hospital and Quinnipiac have come in. We just asked that the court order that we can inspect and copy them, both parties.
What's this here? Hold on a second. Yeah, Roos. Boston's here. It's good to see Boston Christian. Boston Christian is right there. The right amount of years for the crime is like, yeah, they cave. Prosecutors cave. Just like in, some of the cases, you see like, depending on what side of the fence you're on with the Brian Koberger thing, the prosecutors cave, man. They just, it's, these cases are very expensive to go to court with, and it takes a lot of revenue, especially in smaller communities. I don't know, I forget where this was. Pretty sure that was in California. And they'd rather just, sometimes, save the money. I hate to say it. It's all about money. And if they can get an agreement, and they always say the same thing, that the families were, okay with it. Not all the time.
Counsel, any objection to that?
No.
All right, so both parties may be allowed to inspect and copy those records.
Thank you. I also have I provided Defense Counsel a copy of our active witness list, so the court has an idea of how many people could potentially testify. I addressed one thing with Defense Counsel this morning. You'll note that there are 168 witnesses. A lot of that has to do with the Commonwealth versus Gordon case and the lab requiring that we call a lot of foundational witnesses, but we've been talking to Defense Counsel about that. And one thing that we wanted to put on the record this morning regarding NMS Labs, that's a private lab that tested some of the defendant's blood. In order to get those results in under Gordon, we would have had to call, I think, approximately 12 witnesses and fly them in from out of state. Defense Counsel, I believe, is not, well, I'll let you speak for yourself.
Thank you. Your Honor, I understand the Gordon case, obviously. I could put the government's feet to the fire, so to speak, and have them bring in literally every single witness that had anything to do with the care, custody, control, testing of the blood. I do not do that as a matter of course unless it's relevant and material to my defense, which it is not in this case. So I told the DA that I would not be requiring them to bring 12 people in just to say that someone had the blood sample, chain of custody, somebody put it under a microscope, and they're going to have, I think, one witness that would probably testify.
Okay, so let me read this here for those who don't know about this case here. So Lindsay Marie Clancy, she was there. This happened in Duxbury, Massachusetts, who allegedly unalived her 3 children on the evening of January 24th, 2023. Well, it's been over 2 years now, almost 3 years. 2 of the children, 5-year-old Cora Clancy, 3-year-old Dawson Clancy, were pronounced dead at the hospital, while a third child, 7-month-old Kaylin Clancy, who turned 8 months old while hospitalized, all 3 of them died. And this is what I was saying. Experts believe Clancy may have suffered postpartum psychosis, which I think is a real thing. She may have been over-medicated. Her attorneys reported that the 4 months leading up to the incident, Lindsay had been prescribed 13 different, I'm pretty sure this didn't help, the 13 different psychiatric medications. Clancy worked at a labor and delivery nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital. Prior to the incident, she struggled with various facets. Yeah, this woman here had issues. I was trying to get to the core of what happened, but apparently they're not going to discuss it. So, all right, here we go.
To what the findings were, so we'll be agreeable on that.
All right.
And the others have been summoned, so if anything changes, we would make arrangements to bring them in.
I have, just so your Honor knows, probably around 50 witnesses, but most of them.
I also want to give a shout out to Shibby. Shibby's a great guy too. Shibby's killing it. He's doing a great job over there. Shibby is a great person individually anyways. So always good to see people doing well. Shibby's awesome. Shibby's amazing. He's doing great. Shout out.
Civilian witnesses have been very, very cooperative on both sides as far as exchanging reports and documents and evidence and things of that nature. And there seems to be an overlap on a number of the witnesses on the civilian side that's in the government's list is in my list, so it won't be that bad. It's not going to be that good, but it's not going to be that bad.
All right. How about from the defendant's standpoint in regards to discovery? Where do we stand in regards to that?
I will say that
I think so. She apparently, this is without reading the actual, but from what I remember, she allegedly told her husband to go do some errands, and then as soon as he left, she literally unalived the 3 kids and then threw herself out the window or something like that, where she almost killed herself. And then the case started, I guess. So, but this woman here, she's not, there's something wrong with her, period.
I have found the DA's office to be extremely responsive. I made a phone call about a month ago and requested opportunity to look at physical evidence. They had it all set up for me to go in. They were very accommodating, and Jen Sprague sends me an email or two once or twice a week with more discovery. So I'm good with the discovery.
All right. Como?
I'm sorry, I would just ask, and now that discovery is complete on the Como side, other than the 2 doctors' reports, I would just ask for reciprocal discovery in terms of any reports of investigators regarding the potential witnesses.
First of all, this woman here should never be allowed to have children ever again. Like, this is not a good idea. Not a good idea to, yeah.
I don't have any. I never do.
Okay. All right. All right. So it seems to me the thing.
Have a good night, 101 SP. It's always good to see you here. Hope you have a great week. Try to stay safe. And if you can throw some heat this way. That'd be great. I thought she was paralyzed from jumping. I think I'll have to go find the actual write up on that. It's good to see you for sure. There's Happy right there. I hope you're doing well, Heather. Let's see here. We love Heather here. Heather's an amazing human being. I haven't seen an unindicted co-conspirator here yet in a while either. But we love Heather here. You'll share the page with the coolest kids you know. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's too funny. Thank you for that, though. I appreciate that. All right, here we go.
We're really kind of waiting on right now would be those final 2 examiner's reports. And then I guess the question I'd have, I probably know the answer, but is there going to be any objection to both parties with the exchange of each other's reports?
No, we've already started that.
Okay, that's what I figured. But under the rule, I just wanted to make sure that's kind of where we were. So what is there anything we need to address today that the parties think we should kind of deal with?
There were a couple of things that I just wanted to bring to the court's attention. One, Jessica Kenny from the Sheriff's Department had reached out about the June 18th date and whether the defendant would be here in person. It was my understanding that after today, she would be appearing in person for all dates.
Could I respectfully interrupt? I apologize.
Absolutely.
I have been ordered to start a trial in federal court that Monday, whatever that day is, the 15th, I think. Joseph Keresy is the case. It was advanced. So I just want to let you know, I'll ask the judge if, are we on at 2 o'clock?
10 a.m.
Yeah. Can we put it on tentatively for 2? Because she might let me leave at like one, and then I can come down here for two. I'm pretty sure it's carved in stone. It's definitely going. I'm starting one Monday in there too, and it's just going to go back to back. So I just wanted to raise that issue right now rather than wait until the day before,
Why don't we go back and address that? Because I think that's the discussion on that. We may best be done at sidebar because it's going to talk about some medical issues and things like that. So so put that one on hold. What else? Any other issues?
So what Attorney Kenny was asking for was that if the HABE is sent to Tewksbury, that a copy also be sent to her because the Sheriff's Department is providing transportation.
Yeah.
For those.
We can do that. So any HABEs that go out to Tewksbury, a copy will be also made to the Sheriff's Department because we talked about they'll be providing transportation in their van.
Yeah, I would just wouldn't be able to handle it. Can you imagine just coming home one day and all three of your children are gone? I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah, we love you too, Heather. Hope you're well. I'm getting too high for this. That's so funny. Yeah, Heather's amazing. Heather's it was good to see Rick Snay back this week too. Rick Snay's a good guy. All right, so here we go. We'll play a little bit more of this. There's a lot to cover tonight, so I have a feeling this woman here is going to get some sort of a insanity plea here, and that's the problem these days. They just they don't actually address the problem. They just give you medication and expect the medication to just magically fix the problem, and it doesn't.
From Tewksbury to the court, and then from the court back to Tewksbury.
Right, which has been very, very acceptable, and they've been very good, very great on their transportation.
All right. So, Colin, what else?
So motions in limine are due next week.
Why are channels blocking you? Have a good week, 101. Always good to see you, for sure.
On the 4th, we will be filing a motion for review. We have been in touch with the homeowner, the current homeowner. He does plan on objecting, and we'll have counsel here. So I just wanted to give the court notice that there will be a hearing on that.
On the 18th?
On the 18th.
Oh, we'll have a hearing on that, for sure. All right. So,
I'm not jumping in on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So they're going to have a hearing, preliminary hearing. So we'll find out more about this. But I just wanted to play that through because she's going to be in the news for a while. I may try to cover some of the trial. We'll see what happens with that. This will be a big case in Massachusetts because Massachusetts does things a little bit different than everybody else. All right, so let's go to this here since this came up. And this is going to be another one of these trials here that are going to be interesting if it happens. This is the case of the Judge Mullins thing here and the sheriff that unalived him in his office. A small Kentucky courthouse became the scene of a shocking execution-style unaliving when Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins was caught. We've covered this since it seems forever now. This is another one of those cases that hasn't even started yet, and it just continues to go on here. The motive remains clouded in mystery while prosecutors pointing to an intentional unaliving, while Steins now claims he was mentally incapacitated and unable to understand what he was doing when he pulled the trigger. He knew exactly what he was doing when he pulled the trigger. I don't understand what this is. I mean, we'll see what happens with this guy, though, because there may be some mercy people here that, which is rightfully so. I mean, he might have done everybody a favor. But here we go with this.
Kevin Mullins is shot in his own chambers. And the whole thing was caught on video. And it was the sheriff, Mickey Steins, who did it.
Condolences, blessings, Matt Brown family and friends. I forgot to. I think it was it last week. The whole Kyle Busch thing. Wasn't a big Kyle Busch fan, but part of the racing community here. I used to be, still am kind of a huge NASCAR fan. I don't watch it as much as I used to because I, sleep during the day. But rest in peace to Kyle Busch. There we go.
I leave this building, I won't draw another breath. You're gonna kill me, ain't you?
It's the same courthouse in Chambers where a deputy was caught in a sextortion scandal. What is going on in Letcher County, Kentucky? What are your thoughts about the sheriff?
He's my hero. I mean, I'm sure that he's not a perfect man. Nobody is. But he's my hero.
No. I don't know if there's actually been a date set in this year. Not sure.
Regardless.
The sheriff was paranoid that his family was in danger, and there are some who believe there is some truth to that.
On the phone, I want to see my daughter in person, and then after that, I'll tell you everything.
Big question that everyone still wants to know. Why did Sheriff Mickey Steins shoot Judge Kevin Mullins? The video you're going to see is absolutely shocking. Everything caught on camera. Judge Kevin Mullins being shot in his own chambers by the local sheriff. The same chambers where a woman had been sexually extorted by a deputy. The sheriff is in the middle of a civil lawsuit for that extortion. And that week he was deposed. That week he shot and killed the judge. The video I'm going to show you may explain exactly what was going on and may, in fact, keep the sheriff from being convicted of murder. I'm Vinnie Politan. Let's investigate. It was all caught on camera. It was all caught on camera. The buildup to the shooting itself, and all of the aftermath, because there are cameras throughout the courthouse in Letcher County, Kentucky. Mickey Steins, very popular locally elected sheriff, and Judge Kevin Mullins, who's the local judge. These guys have known each other for years. Yet somehow, some way, on that day, Mickey Steins decided to shoot and kill his friend, the judge, Kevin Mullins, on camera in his.
You just can't make this stuff up. I remember years ago, they used to make movies about shit like this, and people used to say, that could never happen. It's a movie. It's all fake. And this shit does happen, man. It just does. It's sad, but it does. I mean, these people hold all of these powerful positions, and they're horrible people.
His chambers. Now think about that for a minute. Why were there cameras there to begin with?
Exactly.
Why would there be cameras inside a judge's chambers?
Who allows smoking in courtrooms? And these, you can't go anywhere and smoke anymore. There's some places where you go, you can't even smoke on the property. Like if you go to a hospital, they won't even allow you to smoke anywhere on the property. These guys were smoking right in the chambers. It's crazy.
I mean, my dad was a judge. Trust me, there are no cameras inside his chambers. I practiced law. I've never been inside any judge's chambers where there were video cameras recording everything that was happening. This is bizarro world. This is unprecedented.
Hold on. Oh my God. It's so, this is what I do like about Vinny, because he kind of makes it a little comical too. So. Oh my God. I shouldn't be laughing. There's a murder here, but this guy knew exactly what he was doing. He basically just kicked everybody out of here. shut the door, and then he made sure that both these doors were locked here.
A live
He wanted to kill this guy.
stream of what's happening inside a judge's private chambers. Well, the reason they're there is a big part of what happened that day. There was a sex scandal that took place in Judge Kevin Mullins' chambers. What happened? His bailiff, a deputy, was criminally convicted of extorting an inmate for sex.
Unbelievable.
And all of this took place in the judge's chambers before there were cameras. So after this happens, part of the result of this is now we're going to put cameras in there. But how on earth does this take place? How does a deputy end up extorting an inmate, a female inmate, for sex? Well, it's because they can't afford.
I wonder if everybody knew there were cameras in there. I'm pretty sure the judge knew, but I don't think maybe everybody didn't know there were cameras in there. The guy that, I always get confused between the sheriff and the judge. So I wonder if Steins knew he might not have known there were cameras in there.
To pay for the monitors, those ankle monitors, where someone is released from jail and able to live their lives, but you've got to pay a monthly bill. So instead of paying the monthly bill, this woman and allegedly others were being extorted. And that was the basis of a civil lawsuit against that deputy, but it also named Sheriff Mickey Steins as a defendant because he's in charge. Now, there were no specific allegations that Mickey Steins himself was involved in extorting these women for sex. No specific allegations, but the lawsuit was just beginning. Likewise, there were no specific allegations that Judge Kevin Mullins.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this was like a triangle of things, and the people who were almost like the mafia, the people that were in the know, didn't want anybody else outside knowing, right? So there was a whole trove of people who were in this, I'm assuming. Almost like the Murdaugh case, right? Like the Murdaugh case, like he's high ranking, the lawyer. He's got all of the people in his front pocket. It's like this is all just in a smaller community. This is crazy. How this can happen. This happens everywhere.
Was extorting women for sex, but it was happening in his chambers. So this civil lawsuit was sort of unearthing and uncovering a lot of corruption in Letcher County, Kentucky. And this was very concerning. Obviously, everyone's talking about it, but people are concerned about, all right, who is going to be revealed as doing something wrong?
I mean, the judge is probably the most untouchable person of all. He's a guy that can issue warrants and issue all kinds of things. And if the judge really wants to put pressure on you, man, you ain't got a chance, man. You really don't. They always stick together. There were 6 to 7 women involved. They took them to a house party. I'm sure. All I'm saying is, the last thing you want is a judge coming after you, because they can do a lot of things. And you really don't have any recourse at all. So they had the right guy.
Wrong here. What does Sheriff Mickey Steins know?
Like I said, this guy probably did everybody a favor, to be honest with you.
Who could he possibly name in his deposition? So because he's one of the defendants in the civil lawsuit, like any defendant in any civil lawsuit, the plaintiff is deposing him and asking him questions about what he knew. And that's all taking place earlier in the week. And I've spoken with the lawyer who was in the room, and he described Mickey Steins as being a little bit off. There was something strange about Mickey Steins. This civil lawsuit was weighing heavily on his mind. He was paranoid about this lawsuit. And it wasn't just about losing the lawsuit and perhaps, I don't know, having to pay some money, although insurance should cover all of it. It was about what he knew, who he could expose, and who wanted to keep him quiet. That was the genesis of this paranoia, that the people that he could potentially talk about in this civil lawsuit during his deposition could do harm to him, or more importantly, his family, his wife and his daughter.
You know, it's definitely possible that, you know, the judge was putting a little bit of pressure on this guy here to not testify, right? And to just be quiet. And this guy here just tried to, we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but it's possible because, like I said, the judge, once a judge is, it doesn't matter if you're a sheriff, deputy, whatever, they can create all kinds of havoc for you in your life, man. It's really hard to overrule a judge, right?
So Sheriff Mickey Steins, so concerned about this, was wondering, was his family in danger? And I'm going to show you the video. This video becomes the absolute foundation for his defense at trial, which is, in his mind, his family was in danger because of what was going on with this lawsuit, and he was afraid. And that fear turned into paranoia, and that paranoia made him fire that weapon. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at Sheriff Mickey Steins as he speaks, as we get to hear what's going on inside his mind.
Why are you going to transport me in a vehicle for? Probably not to put you in Ledger County Jail.
Yeah, I mean, the judge could have been kind of saying, you know, if you, you know, in a roundabout kind of way, if you fuck with me, or if you don't do what we tell you to do, then we may start coming after your family or something like that. And that's when this guy started to go a little cuckoo here. But you never know. I don't know. It's hard to get to the bottom of these things because all the players in here, and even if they get rid of this one judge, who's to say the judge that doesn't, you know, take his place isn't the same kind of idiot? You know, it's like, it can go on forever.
I mean, why? Just probably because, I don't know though. I don't know if that's happening. I don't mind to be down there. You don't mind to be down there? They'll put me in a I mean, we'll talk about that, you know. I just talk to see what the logistics is down there. I gotta get put in a vehicle and go outside. Well, yeah, I understand why you're worried, but at the same time, you know how it is with something like this. We're going to be worried about you in the jail down here with local people. You know? Right now, I'm alive and well, no weapons on me. Okay. So if I leave this building, I won't draw another breath.
Read him Miranda before you go any further.
Well, I'm going to get in there.
They're all locked.
Okay. Well, Mickey, you know.
See, he probably knows, you know, obviously everybody here knows that there's cameras in this hallway. He probably knows that, you know, he's probably in fear of his life right here.
Miranda, I'm going to read it to you here real fast. What's Miranda? The Miranda warning. What is it? For your rights before you talk to me. I'll read it to you. If you have any questions, you can ask me, okay?
What's a Miranda warning? The sheriff doesn't know what a Miranda warning is. Like, and he calls it a Miranda warning and not Miranda rights. Like,
you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to attorney and to have an attorney present during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney.
So this happened a couple years ago now, where I don't know. And this sheriff actually unalived this judge, and this is him being arrested here.
One may be appointed to you before any question. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand these rights as I have read them to you?
Yeah,
You do? Okay. I mean, I'll read it again if you want me to. Do you want me to read it again, or? Hey, Mick, do you want me to read it again, or do you understand them? Do you understand them? Or do you want me to read it again? I don't care. It's up to you.
Hold it there for 1 second. The significance of this video, which is extremely rare, in a case where someone is going to claim some sort of mental disease or defect, legal insanity, that's the standard, right?
It's almost like he doesn't want to say anything because he's being recorded. It's almost like, you know, I can understand maybe he's kind of under some sort of a psychosis here, but he might not want to, he might know that he's on camera here and he may not want to be, you know, caught saying anything at all.
You rarely have video of the defendant immediately after the crime that he's been charged with.
Right.
This is just moments after he has shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins. He has surrendered himself. He's been put into cuffs, and now he's being questioned. So his state of mind at this moment is the most important part of the case and what you're seeing and what you're hearing. Obviously, there'll be experts testifying in trial interpreting this, but the jury's going to see this. The jury's going to hear this, and they'll make their own evaluations the way all of us right now are making our evaluations, and there's something's off. Like first, he didn't know what Miranda was. And then he's telling the deputies, just, the minute I leave this building, I'm done. I won't breathe another breath. He believes that if he leaves the courthouse in Letcher County, they're going to take him somewhere and kill him. Again, arguably part of the paranoia taking place in the mind of Sheriff Steins. Let's watch some more.
Well, I think we got the same.
Okay.
I do. I think I'm with Vinny. I think this is very interesting here that they're standing questioning this guy here while there's cameras. I mean, everybody's got to know, the officers that are questioning him, that there's cameras in this hallway. They're cops. They know that anything you say anywhere in a police station, jail, prison is going to be recorded. Doesn't matter. So he may be just sitting here saying, I ain't answering anything. I'm not asking for a lawyer because that'll kind of prove my guilt here. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to act really dumb.
Okay, so I just read those to you, okay? So do you understand these rights? Do you understand the rights?
What are you saying?
Do you understand the rights? Okay, I'll speak up louder. Listen to me, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against.
How can he not hear him? He's in a hallway. There's nobody else around. There's an echo in here. This is crazy. This whole interview, I said this before when we played it the first time. This whole thing is crazy how they got him just in this hallway here, not even in an interrogation. And Vinny's right. This is like right after this happened.
Against you in the court of law, you have the right to an attorney and to have one present during any questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one may be appointed to you before any question. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand these rights? Okay. Keeping these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me now? You had told me earlier you was ready to talk about it.
Have a good night, JP. Always good to see you here. If you haven't subbed over there to JP, please go right ahead. Guy's a great musician, awesome at what he does. JP's been here forever. I don't know why you don't have a wrench, but I don't know. But have a good week, buddy. Good to see you always. That's how I take this whole thing. He's just not saying anything. And they're getting frustrated with him because he's not saying anything. But I think he knows why he's not saying anything, and I think they do too.
If we go down to the jail and cameras and stuff at the jail, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out and get in the vehicle, guys. No.
Well, we'll try.
At some point, you have to do that.
We'll figure something out.
I understand it. How about a room right here for right now?
Yeah, we're just doing a room right here. My body cam's. Nikki, you know me. I would never do anything to you. Or is that what you're worried? Is that
officer escort? At some point, you're leaving this building.
Is that what you're worried about?
I want as many officers as you can get to take me
Well, we could-
downstairs to the jail here.
We can make that.
No,
We can make,
downstairs to the jail here.
Okay. Right there, you see, he wants to remain in the jail in Letcher County. That's where he feels safe. But if you're the sheriff of
You guys are all awesome. Everybody that's in here, you guys are amazing people. I appreciate all your support. You guys just are awesome. I appreciate everything.
Letcher County, they can't put you in the Letcher County jail because those are all the people who've been arrested by you and your deputies. So obviously it's not a safe place for the Letcher County sheriff. So they've got to transport him to another jurisdiction to try to protect him. But he feels, in his mind, what he's expressing is that if you transport me, that's when things get dangerous. That's when my life is in jeopardy because it's you people that are going to take me out. I want my deputies around me because they'll protect me. But you people will not keep me safe. All right, we've got more video here, and I want you to pay close.
That's how I take it too. Like I take it that he's trying to protect his case here. He knows what's going on. He's a cop.
Close attention as he starts to talk about his daughter, who is such an important part of this case and the mindset of Sheriff Mickey Steins.
I read you your rights a while ago.
When all this first started happening, Justin Hunsaker said, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" and started asking me questions. So I want that to be on the note.
Okay, that's it's recorded right here. Well, is anything he said?
I don't know about y'all's recorders now. Come on now. I just want a fair.
You wanted the recorders on a while ago, Mickey. So, hey, Mickey.
These are killing me. I just want a fair trial, guys. Get me to where.
What?
Try me here, wherever.
Tell us what happened today. What?
Tell me.
We don't know. I just got here. I just know that Judge Moses was shot. So tell us.
He's not going to tell you anything. This is crazy.
What happened? What led?
Thank you, Mustang. Appreciate that. Southern Gal is amazing. Hopefully Southern Gal is doing well. Just awesome person.
Into that.
They read him his Miranda rights. Like that's the precursor to where if you say anything at all, it can be used against you. And I'm pretty sure he's not asking for a lawyer here because that's almost at this point admitting guilt, really.
Do you want to talk at all, Mickey? Earlier you said you wanted to talk about it. Hey, listen, Mickey, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. I ain't going to force you to, okay? We're not going to force you. If you don't want to talk, that's your right. You don't have to. Yeah. I read you your rights a while ago. And you know that. You're the sheriff. I mean, you know just as much as we do. But it's up to you.
If I can see my daughter in person here.
Before you leave. Is that what you want?
At the jail.
At the jail.
Yep. At the jail, through the screen, on the phone, I want to see my daughter in person. And then after that, I'll tell you everything at that jail.
Well,
in front of cameras. Video recording.
Where's your daughter at? Where's your daughter? How do we track her down? Where's she at?
She's at LCC earlier. She's at LCC.
What is-
I talked to her.
So now, Mickey, I want to kind of, for your daughter, let's talk about this for your daughter, okay? If she finds out that her dad is being arrested for shooting the judge, and she's in high school, I didn't know how old she was, so I didn't know. So she's in high school. What is she, a senior? That's going to be hard.
She will.
No, I honestly, I think what he's doing here is he probably knows that they know what happened, and he could be trying to, bolster his defense here by claiming insanity or like he's under some sort of psychosis here. He knows what he's doing. That's just my opinion.
Want to see me? She will want. Now, come on, guys, be fair to me now.
I am being fair. That's the only thing I just wanted you to think about that. How is she 18?
Be fair to me now, guys.
Well, hold on. Is she 18?
Be fair to me now.
No, I'm asking you.
Come on, I want to see my daughter in person.
Is she 18?
I want to see my daughter in person.
How
You
old
got a
is
kid?
Because if she's,
I've got grandkids.
Yeah.
I got 5 grandkids.
Yeah.
5 grandkids.
Listen to me.
I just want to see my daughter.
If she's not 18, we're going to ask your wife. We have to ask your wife if it's okay. You know that. Is she 18?
Christine and LaShawna both said they were both on their way here.
Okay.
They were in here. There was all kinds of people in here just running around chaotic. So
Okay.
how am I going to tell you what happened?
Hold it right there for a second.
To the
This is the case. This is the why of it, right? Trying to understand why the sheriff would do this. So here you're getting inside of his thought process. It's the fear that his daughter is in danger. And he's not going to do anything. He's negotiating right now. He's negotiating with the officers who want to know what happened here. Mickey, what happened? Why did you do this?
They're asking if his daughter.
They're
asking if his daughter is 18, because if she's not 18, then they have to get permission from another parent to bring her to where he's at.
And his focus is his daughter. And what you have to remember is that just before the shooting, what does he do? He calls his daughter from his own phone and then uses the sheriff's phone to call his daughter. So the same thing that is manifesting itself in his mind at this moment was also happening just prior to the shooting. All goes to his state of mind. All goes to whether or not he's potentially legally insane, unable to distinguish right from wrong, to appreciate the wrongfulness of what he's doing, or not understanding the reality of what's going on here. If he feels like his family's in danger and he needs to act out, that becomes his defense. And all of that is playing out here in real time. The jury will see this. The experts will be able to analyze all of this. You rarely get this video just after the shooting. Plus, we've got video just before the shooting. Let's go back.
To the judge?
Yeah. You know, Christine LaShawna said my wife.
I think this is really interesting because it's just a whole bunch of cops going at a cop here. It's weird.
My daughter's on their way.
Mm-hmm. I know, but you just said, how are you going to tell us what happened? Everybody's running around chaotic.
It was. I just want to see my daughter.
Well, is she 18? How old is she? If your wife's out there with her, if she ain't 18, we can ask if that's okay. But if she's 18, we just ask your daughter. So that's what I'm getting at. If she's not 18, we have to ask your wife. Do you think they're outside?
LaShawna and Christine said they was on their way. Let me talk to them too.
You want to go ask them about it? Yeah.
Hit that button right there.
But this is recorded. His is recorded.
Guys, come on now. Be fair to me now. Mickey, we're not being unfair to you.
You went there and drink water?
Yeah, now be fair to me, guys. Y'all gonna kill me.
Mickey, I'm not going to
Oh,
kill
come
you.
on, man.
Mickey, we have never had one bad word to each other. Never.
Y'all gonna kill me.
Never in our
You
lives.
know you are.
Why are you?
It's sad. It's sad and it's tragic, and obviously sad for Mickey Steins. But how about Judge Kevin Mullins, who, as a result of whatever's going on here with the sheriff, his life was ended inside his chambers, completely unexpected. So as you think about, as they get ready to do a trial in this case and try to piece together a defense in a case where everything is captured.
Yeah, I think the sheriff is smart enough to know what's going on, and I think he's trying to act out some sort of a insanity defense here, even as he's being questioned.
Captured on video, right? You think, okay, The actual murder is caught on video. There's no audio. There's only video of the shooting. So you don't hear what is said. You only see what is done. The way the sheriff hunts down the judge, shoots him. He's on his way out of the chambers, and he realizes that the judge is still alive. So he goes back and unloads the weapon even more, making sure that Kevin Mullins is there. But how does that connect to his fear of his daughter? It all comes back to that civil lawsuit. And something terrible was happening in Letcher County, Kentucky. Women being extorted for sex, a huge scandal. The sheriff seemingly knows a lot about what's going on. And it seems his fear may be grounded in some sense of reality, while at the same time taking it to the...
This is going to be a crazy, crazy case, man. That's all I can say. This is going to be like when if this case ever goes to a jury or a trial, this is going to be a very, very interesting case because there's just too much going on here. And, the jury may be sympathetic to this guy. So who knows?
The next level of, okay, he's got a break from reality. Yeah, everyone's concerned about this civil lawsuit. But then the break from reality is I can protect my daughter whose life is in danger because of this scandal. They're going to go after her because of what I know. So I've got to take out Judge Kevin Mullins to save my daughter? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's because it's in the mind of someone who is mentally ill. And the question is he legally insane?
Okay, so I just wanted to play that. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting case here. It already is interesting. It's very, it's got everything that a dramatic case is needing, right? Like you got the sheriff unaliving the judge. You got the drama behind all of it. It's the insanity plea. He may, like I said, he may get some sympathetic jurors to side with him. Who knows? I don't know. It's just going to be, it's a crazy story. All right, so let's go to this here. Hold on one second here. Paula brought this up a little while ago, so I figured I'd covered it. This happened today while I was sleeping, and it happened basically right down the southeastern New Hampshire coastline into the basically bordering the Massachusetts coastline here. And it turns out that there was some sort of a meteor explosion as the meteor hit the atmosphere here, but I'm pretty sure it scared the living daylights out of everybody, because I don't think anybody's ever seen or heard anything like this before. So here's this here, and this video happened 8 hours ago. So here we go.
That thunderous boom shortly after 2 o'clock this afternoon, a bang so loud it prompted a flood of 911 calls in towns along the South Shore and North Shore, all the way out to Metro West and even down to Rhode Island. Well, tonight the experts are telling us it was almost certainly a meteor big enough to create the shock waves that produced that sonic boom. Good evening, everyone. Ken McLeod with you. Quite a few people say the boom actually rattled their homes at precisely 11 minutes after 2. We've got team coverage of this somewhat strange event, so let's get started with an explanation of exactly what happened and what didn't from meteorologist Jacob Wyckoff.
And what a wild afternoon overall. A lot of people asking, was it an earthquake? And we were able to dig into some data. The U.S. Geological Society said no, there were no earthquakes. So that led us to think, was it thunder? Well, our forecast definitely didn't call for thunder. These didn't really have any lightning involved. So we actually used a lightning product and was able to determine it was likely a meteor. And when I say a lightning product, this is a NOAA product that measures flash density. And so at 2:11, as that meteor entered into...
Really? That happened in South Carolina too? My daughter lives in South Carolina. She said it was shaking her house. That's cool. That's strange. I didn't hear it. We probably wouldn't have heard it here because I'm a little bit more inland. But it basically came down basically through Portsmouth here and then out into. They got it on the flash density here from the radar.
The atmosphere, it let off this big giant flash of light, and you can see that right off the South Shore there. And so we're able to see exactly where that was. And where it was clear throughout the Northeast, we had about 4 dozen people that reported seeing something in the sky, and through triangulation they were able to locate that it went over southern New Hampshire and then exploded somewhere off the South Shore. So just a little bit of info. Most of these are the size of a grain of sand and burn up harmlessly as they enter the atmosphere. But
so these things travel over 25,000 miles per hour, and once it hits the atmosphere, it kind of blows up, thankfully. And it'll scare the shit out of you. What's strange about this system here is last night, I mean, it rained here. See this low pressure system here that's kind of pulling off the coast here. We got some serious freaking rain here last night. And upstate New York, upstate Vermont, upstate New Hampshire got some serious thunderstorms and high winds too associated with that. So that's why probably people thought it might have been lightning.
they're traveling 25,000 miles per hour, and the sound that we hear is a sonic boom. Sometimes we can hear 2 booms, the initial sonic boom and then the boom of the explosion of the meteor as it dissipates throughout the atmosphere. Really, really interesting stuff. We're using weather satellites and information to help us determine what's falling from the sky. Logan, I know that you are on the South Shore at the moment, talking to some residents. What were you able to find out there in Cohasset?
Yeah, Jacob, it apparently exploded somewhere off the coast just behind us here, and it sounded like a bomb. It felt like an earthquake. It shook my home all the way out in Cambridge, and many people are reporting the same experience all across New England. This could be felt all the way from southern New Hampshire all the way down to Rhode Island, and we're learning a lot from people about what that experience was like. We're actually getting a lot of videos sent in that we want to show you now, showing the moment that boom was seen from several people's homes. Lots of our viewers are sending in videos and calling into our station asking us just what that was. Now, I had the chance to speak with an astronomy educator from the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum, and she described just what we heard and felt this afternoon.
They're blowing out all of the forces that object is feeling as it falls through the atmosphere. The stony ones tend to break apart more easily, and so what you hear when something falls through the sky, some of it is the sonic boom of it, compressing the air and putting out this pressure base. Some of it can also be the rock material itself exploding and kind of breaking apart.
Now, so Shauna tells me that there are many different compositions of meteors, some of them made of iron, some of stone. She says that given the sound that we heard, that large...
Critter Mama's here. Good to see Critter Mama for sure. Hope you're well, Critter Mama. Let's see here. I'll be listening. Love you guys. Sweet dreams. Love you too, Heather. Thank you so much for everything you do. We hope you're well. Have a good week if we don't see you again here.
Sonic boom that echoed across New England. This was most likely a stony meteor, and that sound that we heard was part of that stone exploding in Earth's atmosphere. She says that oftentimes scientists are able to gather lots of information from the rocks that come down from that. Unfortunately, this happened somewhere over the ocean here, so there won't be a lot of information that they can gather from the stones themselves. But she says that scientists are likely to piece together bits of information that they get from people who are able to just recount what they heard and what they saw. So we're still getting a lot of information about this, and we'll continue to learn more as the day goes on. Reporting live in Cohasset tonight, I'm Logan Hall, WBZ News.
All right.
So that's that. Like I said, I didn't hear it because I was probably sleeping because I sleep during the day because I work nights. New York's getting hammered by meteors. You're on a break. Oh, that's cool. It's good to see Critter Mama in here. Hope Critter Mom is doing well. You're the best, Heather, for sure. We love having you here, you and Dino here. Let's see here. Just hope you're doing well. That's all I care about. All right, so let's go to this case here. We've covered this case before, and this is a little bit interesting here. They have I'll call it a new witness, and everybody on the planet that's into true crime right now is in CrimeCon in Las Vegas. So this is the story of let's see here. So this is the missing person case of the week here, but we've done this this case before. Let's see here. Her case featured News Nation missing, remains unsolved, and her family continues to search for answers. I believe this is the case. Mother, the Texas teenager disappeared 16 years ago after getting off a school bus and never making it to work. Remember this case here? We covered this case a little while ago. And they continue to search for answers, but there's a new witness that's come forward. So let's take a look at this. Let's go back a little bit here. Shut off those things. Here we go.
Conference, which centers around true crime and gives thousands of families whose loved ones are still missing the chance to share their stories at the Missing Wall. Many of the cases highlighted there are actually ones that we've covered right here in our Missing series on News Nation. That includes Ali Lowitzer. These pictures take.
Welcome back, Fiend. There'll be a proper investigation. Yeah, everybody's at CrimeCon right now, so yeah.
16 years ago, just moments before she got off the school bus and vanished. Ali had begged her mom to let her walk the short distance from the bus stop to her job, but employees said Ali never showed up. All these years later, her mother.
So we covered this case, I forget when, I think it was over the winter here, it was part of the missing persons cases. So there's a witness now that's come forward, but I'll pull this information up anyways and go over it again.
Still not giving up hope in finding her daughter. She is one of many families at CrimeCon this weekend and is sharing exclusive new details about her daughter's disappearance. Let's check in now with News Nation's Marnie Hughes. She's live at CrimeCon this morning. Marnie, great to see you. You spoke with Ali's mother about her disappearance. What new did she tell you?
Yeah, it was incredible to see Joanne. She and I have spoken over Zoom a number of times, Alex, and to see her here in person, to hug her and to talk about Ali was incredible. And I'll get to that in just a moment because she has some new information that she shared with us for the very first time. But to begin, we are at CrimeCon 2026, the Caesars Palace, and this is the calm before the storm. But this place is a who's who, Alex, of people in the crime world, from podcasters to TV shows. I mean, if you love true crime, this is where you are this weekend. It starts at about noon today and then goes through the weekend. But I want to walk you around. We're in one of the exhibition halls, and News Nation has a booth set up, which is really cool because we get to meet all of the people that we interview on these important stories and face to face, hear from them, give them a microphone. And as folks get their booth set up, you'll see a lot of familiar things. Criminally Obsessed, there's a lot of true crime authors here. Here's a booth set up. They're going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie and the Berman.
Okay, so let me just kind of read this. This is coming from an article here. So Joanne returned home the mother returned home from work at around 5:30 p.m. to find Ali was not home. Believing Ali had managed to pick up a shift and had just forgotten to tell her. She didn't think much of it and simply texted her daughter to ask where she needed to be picked up. 9 p.m. Joanne has still not received a response to her text. So she drove to the Burger Barn. Hold on, let me read this. April 26, 2010 started out as a regular day. Ali leaving the house around 7 a.m. to catch the school bus. At 2:30, she was riding the school bus home. When she called her mother to let her know she'd forgotten her house key, her mother assured her that the door would be unlocked, and Mason had not left for the day. Ali then asked if she could walk to work at the local Burger Barn about a quarter mile away to pick up her paycheck and to inquire about picking up her shift that night. Her mother initially denied her request, as Allie had never walked to work before, and there was no sidewalk along the road. But after a brief argument, she relented. So remember the story here? We covered this. All right, so let's go here. Let's go back here. Hold on a second here. Yep, I can play this.
Murders. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is here. We work with them a lot on all of our missing cases. Here's their booth, and they have QR codes for every single state where you can.
Okay, so let's see here. The Electric Werecat Truther Network is alive. Awesome. They're saying meteor. Yep, a proper investigation into the meteor. I meant. Okay. Did he say smoke? YouTuber I watched said she spent $25 for 2 chicken strips, small fry, and pop in Vegas. Yep. That's cheap for Vegas. A criminal network, JLR, and Ted Investigates are all there. They're at CrimeCon? It should be $5. Let's see here. I think there's sales tax there too. Yep. Ted Bundy is still out there. Huh. Let's hope not.
And zoom in and find the missing people in your state. Allie's case, so talking about her, she is from Spring, Texas, and she went missing in 2010. She was 16 years old when she got off the bus that day. And Alex, what's so tragic about Allie's story is the lead up to that day and when she got off the bus. She had a talk with her mom, Joanne, and begged her, Mom, can I please walk from the bus stop to the Burger Barn where I work to pick up my check? She had never done it before. Joanne said, no, no, no. Finally, she said Allie was so convincing, she let her do it. And that was the last time she talked to her and saw her. 16 years, Joanne has been desperately looking for Allie, chasing down every single clue, and there haven't been many. Basically, she just vanished on that road, and no one knows what happened. Well, in preparation for coming here to CrimeCon, Joanne was sitting down with a friend, getting together all her stuff, because she's going to have a booth here. And the friend says, isn't it crazy nobody ever saw Allie except for the kids on the bus and my sister? And Joanne goes, what? And she goes, my sister saw Allie that day. 16 years later, it wasn't until recently, Joanne got this new clue. Last night, I sat down and talked to her about it. What did it feel like for you, Joanne, though, to have this new piece of information after so many years of frustrating dead ends?
Well, from my perspective, it means a lot because I'm hoping that gives law enforcement, a little extra push to maybe interview the people at the Burger Barn again, or interview some more of her friends and, I don't know.
Something.
I mean, something. Yeah, something.
Alex, I talked to Joanne just about the last 16 years and this nightmare journey that she's been on every single day searching for Allie. She goes on social media to share Allie's story, just looking for clues. To have a new piece of information like this that can jumpstart law enforcement to search again. There's a daycare in that area that they can go back and interview those people. Was there a car that drove by that day? There's a gas station that had some surveillance. This could open up a whole new door into the investigation. That is Joanne's hope. I think the struggle for her for so long was wondering if Allie is alive. And last night she admitted, I don't know that that's true anymore, but she said it is time for.
How old would Ted Bundy be now? You think? I could probably do the math. He'd be old though. Yes, that's Peggy O's channel right there. She's awesome. All right, here we go.
For someone to come forward with answers, but this clue gives her hope that she is in the right direction. So she's here at CrimeCon. Here's our team at News Nation getting set up for the day. People will be stopping by to talk to us about.
As much as I am in this true crime thing, hopefully I'm never caught dead there. I would never go to this thing. Only because I can't stand a lot of people these days. So that would be that. And yeah. First person I'd probably run into would be Gray Hughes, and I'd probably punch the guy right in the face first. I hope Ted Bundy's daughter had a good life. Me too. How old was Ted then? I don't know, 42. He was born in 1946. That sounds right. That sounds close. Yep, there's Amy G is around too. She's been doing stuff too. Amy G's awesome. Tracy's in here too somewhere. Tracy's an amazing human being. So let's go here. Let's do this.
Missing cases. Brian Enton, Laura Ingle, Jesse Weber are going to be here as we investigate.
So for once, Tracy or Quad has more cats in her house than I do. Could you imagine all that meowing? She got 15 cats in there.
Other big crime stories that are important. It really is a cool place to be, where all of these people, Alex, come together with a common goal to solve cases, kind of true crime detectives, share stories. It's overwhelming to be here, but it's also really special to see all of these people who share.
I keep my eyes open for Gray when I drive around town. Yeah, let's do it. Hold on a second. Well, we'll do it. Yeah, it sounds about right. 80 would sound right. I thought it was a little bit more than that though, but he was what a douchebag he was.
Passion for this and for leaning on each other. So we're going to be here all day. There's another level to this expo hall where there's a missing wall set up. So I'm going to head up there, gather some more stuff from the missing wall, talk to some more families. So we'll be here all day.
You remember the time? Does anybody remember the time? Probably not. That he left his microphone on. I'm talking about Gray Hughes, and he left his microphone on. He was like being really mean to his wife and stuff like that. And he tried to excuse himself out of that. It was so funny.
Yeah. But it really was special to see Joanne in person and connect in that way that we don't so often get to do.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, so the good news is they got a witness, and hopefully that case gets somewhere. I know that case has been going on for a while. Yep, he's an ass for sure. Yep, absolutely. I used to watch Gray Hughes all the time, though, back in the Delphi days. I'm not going to say I liked watching them. I'm just saying that, yeah. All right, so let's go over to this case that seems to never go away either. She's just missing now. The guys are doing a really good job with this here. But I'm going to play this here because I think this is pretty important here. Savannah Guthrie has spent $500,000 on private investigators. And I'm going to say this again about this case here. This case isn't any different, in my opinion, to anybody else's missing persons case. We just did one 5 seconds ago with the Allie Loworth case. So people go missing all the time. It's just that this one here is getting a lot. Leslie and Billy's here. Oh, you're welcome, Leslie and Billy. It's always good to. You have 6 adult cats and 15 babies, so that's 21 actual cats. Yes, we love Tracy. Tracy is amazing. What was I saying? And this is a really, this is one of those cases that may never be solved because, I mean, there's no body. I mean, how do you solve a case with no body? And like I said, in my opinion, whoever did this took the body because that's where all the evidence is. But anyways, here we go. This is this guy, Brian Enton, that I don't want to speak on him. But anyways, this is this here. And like I said, everybody and their brothers at CrimeCon. So here we go.
26 right here on the Las Vegas Strip on the Treasure Island pirate ship. Okay. Now, again, we've talked about this, but Las Vegas, CrimeCon, it's some of the biggest true crime stories in America. They're taking center stage right now. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. There is maybe no other case that has generated more questions, more frustration, more interest, more investment, more obsession than the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. 117 days and still no sign of her. But even as the case remains unsolved, there are still.
You know how many people go missing every single freaking day? I got, hold on a second here. Let me get out of this here and I'm going to go, hold on one second here. I can get back at that. Hold on a second. Wait 2 seconds here. Let me go here. Okay, so here we are on my page alone, right? I got the good news about Jenna here. I posted this a few days ago. She's been found, so she's okay. We're going to do this case here fairly shortly. This is the person that went missing in in Kentucky here. She was found unalive, unfortunately. I remember we covered this here. We went all up and down the streets there. Parents have got to be besides themselves with that there. But look at all the people that are missing every single freaking day. We're going to probably try to get into this a little later here. She's still missing out in California here. But all I'm saying is there's so many missing person cases every single freaking day. And a lot of cases never, ever get solved. It's sad. It really is sad. Some cases do, some cases don't. And I think that this case will be solved, but I don't think they're probably ever going to find her unless whoever did this pleads out and, gives up the whereabouts of her for a plea deal or something like that. But what's going on with Leslie and Billy? I was supposed to be at CrimeCon, but broke my foot Friday night before leave. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's terrible. How'd you do that? This case is very unique due to how she went missing at her age. Agreed. I hold firmly to my belief in this here, that this is an SA case, and whoever did this is seriously demented, and there's a reason why she was targeted that day. But that's just my opinion. So here we go.
Still new questions tonight about what's happening behind the scenes, and new unverified reports claiming that Savannah Guthrie paid over $500,000.
And it's possible the person who did this has some sort of a beef with the family, one of the family members, or maybe even Savannah herself. But I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think whoever did this is seriously a demented freaking person. And like the sheriff said, this guy could probably strike again somewhere.
$1,000 for private investigators to continue the search for her mother? Our Brian Enton has been on this story since day one. From the very beginning, chasing leads, questioning authorities, working to separate fact from fiction.
Yeah, we hope you feel better. That sucks, though. Did you have your tickets and everything all ready to go to CrimeCon? That sucks.
And I'm so lucky that Brian...
I can't, there's no way I'm going to be able to, I go into the supermarkets now to get stuff, and I go in and get what I got to get and get the hell out. I don't know what it is, maybe in my old age now. I can't stand being around a whole bunch of people. I just can't. You can't do it. Like I said, school things these days kind of frighten me, because now I got to go be in a school auditorium with a whole bunch of people watching a play. I don't mind doing it, but I'd rather just be home as a hermit, as myself and nobody else.
Is with me right now. He's hosting a Nancy Guthrie panel here at CrimeCon. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Jesse.
It's on Saturday, your panel.
It is Saturday, yeah. It's not on the pirate ship, by the way, where you are. This is so cool.
It is a nice
really
touch, I'm not
awesome,
gonna lie.
yeah.
What's the
Was at a grandson's graduation. He was kissing a girl. And I went after him just for funny, and my foot caught. Oh my God. Yes, what a waste. I wanted to give them away, but didn't know anyone. Oh, that's terrible. I feel bad. That's terrible. That's absolutely horrible. Yeah, I hope you feel better. That stinks. I've been here before. I've been to Vegas before. For all of, mattress convention, if you can believe it.
What is the panel going to be focusing on?
Basically, a behind-the-scenes look at my coverage of the Nancy Guthrie case, which, like you said, people are just fascinated with. Like, even walking over here to the pirate ship to see you, the people are just like, oh, what do you think happened? They want to know your theory. I mean, there's a real fascination with the case, and people really care about it, too. I think they think about their own moms,
Well, when I have questions about it, you're the person to come to, which I have to ask you.
So every year, all of the, and I think it's around December, January, all of the, all of the mattress vendors take over down here in Las Vegas. They call it High Point. And this is where they come out with all of their new products. And I've been to, I think, 3 of these here down in Vegas. And the sad news is when I went there, I didn't drink anymore. So it was a waste of time for me. It's like everybody else was drinking, and and I'm not much of a gambler, so what are you going to do?
$100,000 on private investigators. Is there any truth to that?
Look, I haven't been able to confirm that. I think only one outlet has been reporting it. I'm a little weary of that report.
My kidnappers would have to pay my kids to take me back.
To be honest, just because as much time as I've spent out there, and I've got a lot of sources now in Tucson, I haven't heard anything about any private investigators looking into the case.
Like I used to go to, last concert I went to, I think it was like 5 years ago over there in New York. It was Dave Matthews. And even then, I mean, it's basically an outdoor concert. So, but even then, it's like people all around you. And, but I used to go to concerts all the time down in Boston and Worcester, and millions of people. Nowadays, no, that's not going to happen. Maybe it's because I was drunk and stoned at most of them, because maybe that's what helped.
At the same time, I would imagine that Savannah Guthrie is probably getting frustrated. I mean, it's now been 3 months.
That maybe some people would say the number.
I mean, I definitely feel bad for this whole thing. It's got to be one of the worst things you could ever want to go through in your entire life. Like, this is not easy. But there's so many missing people. I mean, it's just every single day. It's and I don't want to say that this woman here is getting special treatment or whatever for constantly being in the news, but there's a lot of missing people. There's still that missing person out in California too, Oakland, Amy, the heck is her name? I just try to cover them all, and I try to cover the ones that like this here. I just feel bad. This is terrible. It's a terrible thing. But everybody on the planet seems to want to throw the sheriff under the bus, so that's why I haven't really been covering this here.
Maybe, like you said, you haven't seen anybody, but like when you look at the investigation, and it's been so much more of a conversation about Sheriff Chris Nanos and the Pima County Sheriff's Office versus the FBI.
Right. It's, and it helps to have money. That's how you get things done. But like I've said before, in cases like this, doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter who you are. If, this could happen to anybody. And there's the Lindbergh baby. Remember that? There's cases that are hundreds of years old that never get solved. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, especially when there's no body, no weapon. This is going to be tough to solve. It's either going to have to come through I think it can be solved, but it's either going to have to come through DNA or some sort of GED matching thing, or maybe somebody knows something and says something. But these cases are not easy, and it just sucks.
I wouldn't be surprised if she went. We talked about that, whether or not she would go the private investigator route.
Yeah, and I've reported, I mean, she is no longer in direct communication with Sheriff Nanos, which I find to be interesting because in the beginning, that was her sort of go-to from what I'm told. Cell phone numbers, talking to each other, keeping her updated. The fact that she's not talking to him anymore makes me wonder if she's lost some confidence.
And even in that interview that she did on the Today Show, I didn't hear too much about Chris Nanos in that interview.
No, and it's been a distraction.
And I keep saying all the time about that area, right? Like, unfortunately right now, there's a 43, I think there's like a 43% Latino population down there. And you have, this influx of federal agents just running around down there, just breaking into people's homes, trampling on everybody's property. Like if you're Latino, that's the last thing you want to see is federal agents outside your house, right? Like, so I'm assuming they're not getting the best information from people, because that's the last thing people want down there, in my opinion, is federal agents running around. They should have never cleared the crime scene that early. Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. But you take any case, right? Any case. Police are not infallible, man. Police make mistakes all the freaking time. Look at the Rex Heuermann case. They 10 years ago, 13 years ago now, they literally had the guy. They had him as an ogre. They had his car. They had everything they needed to arrest the guy, and nobody did anything, right? You can take every state, every police investigation, and say there's mistakes made. And I'm telling you right now, like, a lot of times these cases just get solved because of luck. It's just luck. Somebody comes forward, or somebody says something. These cases go cold because there's no information. There's other cases to follow, so they have to put it on the shelf until something happens. And they're lucky these days. They have forensic evidence like they didn't have 40 years ago. They got digital forensics now. They have everything they need. But police are not infallible, man. They make mistakes all the freaking time. So it's not just this case here.
Distraction. I mean, all the drama with him and the union, and they're trying to throw him out. And again, it's been 3 months. How could you not be upset if you're Savannah?
What's the latest right now in the investigation? Where are we?
I wish I had a really good update. I mean, the latest I'm hearing from my sources, there's this task force that they put together to investigate.
Like that case that we just followed with Ali Lorowitz. That's 16 years. She's still missing. Look at Evansdale. That case is still going. You look around, this case is everywhere. This state here that I'm in, New Hampshire, this the Mara Murray case, they don't even know what the hell happened. The Mara Murray case, they basically showed up like 5 days later and say nothing happened here. It's like crazy. And I don't, I'm not a big fan of the feds either. I mean, they just come in and they're not infallible either. It's sometimes better off not having them around.
Which that's all they do full time. So you've got several FBI agents, you've got detectives from the sheriff's office. They had a meeting last week.
I mean, they were literally dropping gloves all over the place down there, and they found a glove on the side of the road and say, "Hey, let's test this." These people are idiots, man. Terrible.
Kind of just like a come to Jesus, like here we are 3 months in, where are we at, where are we going, but still no suspect. There's still no real solid leads, which is kind of crazy to think about.
So when people come up to you at CrimeCon and decide fawning over you, Brian, but they say to you, "What's your working theory on what happened?" What do you say?
Look, I've gone through a couple different ones. I mean, I initially believed that it was possibly someone who wanted the ransom and wanted to return Nancy alive, and something went wrong. But the more
I don't think this is a ransom case. I just don't.
more I think about it, the ransom in many ways just doesn't make a lot of sense. There was never direct communication with the family, which was odd. There was never proof of life. There was never a real way to pay. Truthfully, I still think it's just a mystery. I really don't know.
You know, it's interesting you're coming on because that is a huge mystery,
Yeah.
right, Nancy Guthrie. But I'd be remiss to not talk to you about this other mystery that just happened. I mean, the Brian Hooker case, which I know you went down there, right? You went into the Bahamian waters. This idea of the GPS data now on one of his devices potentially contradicting his story. What do you make of that?
Look, I'm not surprised. Something about his story didn't add up from the beginning, from when he said the weather wasn't good. And
I think sometimes there's too many cops. I think there's something to be said for, what's the old saying, the more the merrier, or, but I think sometimes there's too much. I think the same thing happened in Delphi. There was way too many investigators around. And, you're talking about this little town, and, it probably would have been better just for, there to just be not as many people. This is another case, the Hooker case, remember? We're looking for the hookers. That's too funny. Too many cooks in the kitchen. That's what I'm looking at there. I mean, this is Pima County is not small, but they have other crimes there. It's not like this is the only fish frying there. There's a lot of cases. I'm going to go through one in a couple of seconds. And I'm pretty sure there were mistakes. And, there's mistakes in every crime scene. Look at John Bonet. I mean, there's mistakes that day. They just didn't secure the crime scene at all. They let him go downstairs and basically fuck around with the crime scene. I mean, there's mistakes all the time. The only difference is, sometimes they get it. They solve it. They can solve it. But police are not infallible, man. They make mistakes all the time, and the FBI does too. The FBI makes mistakes all the time too. So they're not infallible either.
it really wasn't that bad, to where he was in the dinghy didn't make sense. I think that they know something they're not telling us. The fact that the Coast Guard was able to take the boat into their custody, and I had to kayak out to see the boat. It's at the Coast Guard base in Fort Pierce, Florida. There's they can't just do that. I mean, there's a judge behind the scenes that allowed that to happen. I mean, they took his boat from him. They know something. There's some reason they don't believe his story. Same with the Bahamians. Keep him in custody for 5 days. And now this new news that his story allegedly doesn't line up with what the GPS coordinates are from his phone. So the Bahamians have approved it now. That's the latest. They've said that the Coast Guard can come back and search with a dive team
in that specific area.
Yes,
and that's a specific area, the Sea of Abaco. Which again, they're saying the device would say it was on the water and then went back on land, which again would kind of contradict what he was saying about the movements between him and Lynette. I guess when you're there and you're at that scene and you're looking at this boat, what are we not getting? What are we not seeing?
It's going to be, even if they have this guy, it's going to be really hard to prove this in a court of law that he didn't. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do about this case here. We've covered this before. Who knows?
Something's not adding up about her bouncing off the dinghy, and the water is shallow there.
The water is
shallow. Yeah. She would maybe even be able to stand. There was life jackets. There was an oar. I mean, you know, they were somewhat experienced boaters. They were on the dinghy all the time.
Right.
The body would have probably been found.
Yeah.
They find, you know, the Bahamians are used to doing this, unfortunately, in terms of when people go over and there's accidents, they find people there. For her to just disappear is unusual.
This is why we had the conversation with Joseph about the DNA,
Yeah.
whether or not there were some sort of anchors used. I mean, again, we're speculating right now. We don't have a body. We'll see what happens, what comes from this. Brian Enton, my man.
Good seeing you, Jesse. Thank you for watching.
So that's that there. I do want to go into this one here since we just talked about Pima County here. Hold on one second here. Okay, so this is one of these cold cases here. Pima County woman accused of killing her stepfather in 1975. Thanks to forensic genealogy and DNA. That's why I said this last week. I mean, there's a 7, 8, 9% innocent rating across the country of people who have been convicted of crimes that are technically innocent. And I think if there's DNA available at all, they should be retested. Thanks to forensic genealogy and DNA testing, a 79-year-old, she's 79. Pima County woman has been accused of killing her stepfather more than 5 decades ago, 1975. Here we go.
Case that dates back more than 50 years. 79-year-old Carol Ann Beal is in the Pima County Jail tonight on a $500,000 bond, charged in the death of her stepfather, William Sipfel. Her lawyer says she's never been arrested before. Prosecutors say she's lived in the victim's home for more than 50 years, using somewhere between $250,000 and $600,000 from his pension and Social Security benefits. 13 News reporter Sean Mahoney has been following the case all day and joins us now in studio after speaking with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. Sean, how was this case able to be solved after 50 years?
Oh, Mary, that's the big question. Obviously, we have seen the advancement in DNA technology solving hundreds of cold cases throughout recent years, but it was actually genealogy data which helped track down the victim in this case, and something Sheriff Chris Nanos hopes will eventually help lead to more answers for the Sipfel family.
This is somebody's loved one who's vanished from the planet, and because of this science, we're able to put it together.
After 50 years, detectives finally have answers in the disappearance and murder of William Sipfel. Detectives say Sipfel's remains turned up at a county waste transfer station all the way back in 1975, but investigators were not able to identify them at the time.
You had no idea that what you have in front of you because you don't know who this is. There's no fingerprints to be had.
However, as technology advanced, they turned to genealogy.
I mean, in this state here, New Hampshire, and you could probably say the same thing about Maine too, but you literally need an act of Congress to get FBI involved here. I mean, Mama Murray's sister for the first 15 years in that case was pleading with the state to get the FBI involved, and they wouldn't do it. So.
Forensics, taking what evidence they can from the body to track down distant relatives.
We know genealogy takes you.
And I've seen the FBI fuck cases up too. So never reported his death, so gets his pension checks. Yes.
To one person, in this case, the granddaughter, and they lead us to grandpa. So we now have somebody we can actually compare to what we have for DNA. And
79 years old, though. I mean, she's, how long does she, hopefully she lives, well, I don't know. 79 years old is, yeah. All right, here we go.
The match is made then.
For over 50 years, they couldn't find matches in their database, but a third-party lab was able to track down a possible link in late 2025, who happened to have a missing grandfather with no record of what happened.
They never made a missing police report, but they knew he had up and disappeared.
Through interviews and further forensic analysis, they were able to identify the remains as William Sipfel. As a result, it led them to Carol Ann Beal, mainly because of where Sipfel's stepdaughter worked at the time near where the body was found.
That actually turned out to be out towards the Desert Museum area where Miss Biel was an employee.
Our crew was there today as sheriff's investigators served a warrant at a home near Ina in La Cañada on the northwest side, working a potential scene tied to Beal 50.
See, the latest thing is the the separation of DNA. That seems to be the latest because the advancements in DNA change every freaking 2 or 3 years. Nowadays they can separate the stuff. It's not it's not as widely done, so there's only certain labs that can do it. But that's the cat's ass right now, is actually being able to separate the donors to get some sort of a donor to and that's what they're hoping to do in the Nancy Guthrie case, but that's not 100% guaranteed either, because I mean, I'm assuming that there were thousands of people in and out of that house every single week. I mean, she was basically unable to get anywhere or do anything. So she probably had to have everything, either DoorDashed, delivered by, Amazon, or people picking her up. Well, that could be anybody's DNA there.
50 years later, turning this cold case active once again, as Nano says the advancement of private forensic labs is something he believes will lead to more answers for families like the Sipfels.
We're smart enough to know that we're not going to have all the answers, but they're out there. And a lab like this did a great job in helping us find out exactly not only who Mr. Sipfel was, but also maybe how this event occurred.
All right, so that's
the family of William Sipfel provided 13 News with this statement, which reads in part, quote, "The Sipfel family is relieved to have closure regarding the whereabouts of our grandfather, William Reginald Sipfel, with the positive identification of our grandfather's remains. With this new information about our grandfather, we are processing the circumstances around his death and reliving painful memories of his disappearance and of our father's efforts to locate his father." They also expressed gratitude to the Pima County Sheriff's Department, Cold Case Unit, and local forensic labs that helped in this discovery, and asked all inquiries to be directed to PCSD. In studio, Sean Mahoney, 13 News.
All right, so that's that there. I do want to play this one here. Yeah, the Florida lab, it's the cat's ass. How's that cool or a popular thing? I don't know. All right, so let's sometimes private labs are better because they don't have as much of a workload sometimes as, like, sending it to the FBI could be on, the FBI's. I'm just saying that you looking down every case, a lot of cases are botched. There's cases that are botched all the time that still get solved. All right, so let's play this here. But I'm just saying the FBI can botch a case better than anybody. So I just think that in some cases it's better off to have not as many people, I mean, as opposed to just having 4 or 5 people that are really good. And I think they should branch out to have help from cold case investigators or people who are willing to, look into the case and try to help. That would help.
Trial attorneys represented some of the biggest stars in some of the most high-profile court cases in recent history.
Okay, so this is the Scott Peterson thing again, over and over and over and over again. So this is a conversation with Mark Garagos again. CrimeCon in Las Vegas. They're talking about all these cold cases and stuff. So they're saying that some of this information wasn't released to the defense. So here we go. For those who don't know who Scott Peterson is, he was convicted of unaliving his wife, Lacey Peterson, and their unborn son. And I don't know where you guys are on the fence with this guy here, Scott Peterson, but he's doing time.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Winona Ryder, they've all been clients of Geragos. But one of his most well-known clients had nothing to do with Hollywood. Scott Peterson. Scott Peterson was a salesman who hailed from Modesto, California. When his wife Lacey and their
Yes, the person would have to have some sort of a genealogical tree back to the person, and that's not going to work either if the person is not, is Latino, because it may be from who knows. So I do think the Nancy Guthrie case is going to be solved. I just don't think they're going to be able to find a body.
unborn son went missing on Christmas Eve 2002. It set off a media firestorm that intensified when Lacey's body was discovered in the San Francisco Bay over 3 months later. Now, Peterson was arrested soon after Lacey's body was discovered, and during his over 5-month trial, Geragos repeatedly pointed to the fact that the prosecution relied on circumstantial, not direct evidence to make their case. But despite that, despite Mr. Geragos' best efforts, a jury found Peterson guilty of 2 counts of murder in November of 2004, and he was later sentenced to death. Now, that sentence was overturned in 2020 due to improperly dismissed jurors, and Peterson, now sentenced to life, has been sitting in prison ever since. However, there's been a glimmer of hope for Peterson in recent days. Why? This is thanks to a habeas petition that was filed by the LA Innocence Project. And the petition claims that new evidence from a burglary across the street from the Petersons that day, the day that Lacey disappeared, maybe could provide an alternative theory of what happened. And though a California judge denied that petition earlier this month, the LA Innocence Project says it plans to appeal. And despite the judge's decision, that petition has raised some big questions about this case, which is why there is a new documentary that is hoping to answer those questions. It's called Scott Peterson, The New Evidence. It's set to air July 16th and 17th on A&E. This 2-part documentary special is diving into some of that new evidence, presenting a fresh perspective on a case that so many have already made up their minds about. Maybe if you look at this, you'll look at it differently. Now, the doc promises new evidence analysis, never before heard witness testimony, insights from those closest to the case, including Mark Geragos. And so now we have a lot of questions, and I want to bring on acclaimed attorney Mark Geragos, okay? He is the host.
I'm kind of on the fence with this case here, the Scott Peterson case. But, I wouldn't be surprised if they got the right guy. That's all I'm saying. And it's basically my theory on the case is subject to being, reversed. I don't know. I'd say he's probably about 60%. I mean, I try to go by percentages. Like if I'm 50-50 on something, I'll probably just try to, go the extra 10% for the 60 if it's domestic like this year, because usually it's always somebody close related or the husband. I mean, it's usually in a domestic case, it's always that way, but who knows? I don't know.
Of 2 podcasts, in case you don't know, Reasonable Doubt, 2 Angry Men. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. And Mark Geragos joins me on the pirate ship.
I'm on the pirate ship.
You're on the pirate ship.
A hat tip to Adam Carolla, who always talks about the pattern.
Well, I'm happy to have you here.
Yes.
How'd you get involved in the documentary?
Well, they approached me. I thought that the last documentary that was all done for the first time in a number of years actually got people to reassess what they thought. This case, of all the cases I've been connected to, and
this will always be one of those infamous cases, though. Those guys ripping that house off across the street. Yeah, for sure. It's always strange if, these cases come up in the news, because they're always filing appeals, and I just don't like 60% for me is kind of low, especially if there's already been a guilty plea. A guilty verdict. So who knows? I just don't know. I don't want to say I don't know enough about this case, but it's possible that he didn't do it. Let's just put it that way.
And not just me, but we did studies, we did venue studies. We successfully changed venue because the prejudgment rate that people had on this case of guilt was off the charts. Joellen Demetrius said she'd never seen anything like it. She had just come off of OJ and thought that was kind of polarizing. This,
as opposed to like a case like Alex Murdaugh, I'm more around the 80% that he's guilty. I mean, he caught himself lying. He lied right to everybody in the courthouse. So that's a little bit more. But this case here, this one here, is it possible he didn't do it? Sure.
Was even more so.
But I guess the question is, why would it be important? Is it the idea of, hey, if he gets a new trial, people will look at this with fresh eyes, a fresh set of jurors? Because I also do wonder, and I'll ask you more about the documentary. Let's say he were to get a new trial. I actually don't know how many people know the Scott Peterson case. Like, I wonder if you had a jury, they won't be, they won't know about it, won't be affected by it.
It's one of the great things on one side about the American public is that they have a short attention span.
Right.
The one exception to that may be Scott Peterson. I still see people who 20, 23 years later still talk about it. One of the things that was particularly ironic, if you can talk about irony, the day he was convicted, the prosecutor handed me a report. The report had a tip from a lieutenant at Chino, which is a prison.
It doesn't help sometimes with the public trials like this here. Like this guy here, I don't know. He just comes off, I'm talking about Scott Peterson here. In my opinion, he just comes off as a piece of crap. Like he just stuck on himself, a little bit, demeanor means a lot in public opinion. I don't know how much demeanor means to an actual jury, but I mean, he just seems really, in my opinion, he just seemed like he was just really stuck on himself. Just really like you can't, I mean, it's just a babyish kind of like act. Like, does that mean does that make him guilty? I don't know. But, he just had that aura about him. Like he was just above everybody else. I think that's what I'm looking for.
In California. It said he overheard an inmate talking about the burglary across the street with his brother. That report had not been turned over to us. They knew, you saw in some of the setup piece, pictures of Pat Harris. Pat Harris, who I tried the case with, was fixated on the van across the street and the burglary across the street. They had never told us that in Modesto PD had cleared the burglary, said it happened 2 days before or 2 days after, and that wasn't true. It was clearly not true. In fact, if you talk to any of the media, there was a media scrum out there the day after Christmas. There's no way the burglary happened then.
So taking it back, if we talk about the documentary, we talk about the appeal, this never before heard witness testimony. I know you might be limited in what it can be, but if you're talking about an appeal, would it be fair to say this is somebody or people that you didn't know about, could not find at the time of the trial, or these are people that their testimony was hidden from you?
Both. And in fact, one of the things that started or jump-started the Innocence Project was an analyst from the Department of Justice, California State Department of Justice. He, who had retired, said, hey, there was a van that was burned out the day after she was reported missing, and there was a mattress and it had what appeared to be bodily fluids on it or blood. They deep sixed that. They never gave that to us, even though they knew that's what we were looking for.
One of the other things is this new...
It's just so like childish how some of these cases are handled between the prosecution and the defense. Like kids, like withholding evidence and stuff like that. It's, and they as far as especially the prosecution, right? They botch a lot of these. I was going to play one of those tonight. I don't know if I'm going to have time, where the guy was basically just exonerated here, but at the end of the day, it's the taxpayers again who have to pay for this shit, right? Like when these guys get prosecuted and convicted and they're innocent, if they get overturned and exonerated, guess who pays the bill the second time? it's the taxpayers with these settlements that get handed out. So they better just, probably better if they just do what they have to do. Give the evidence over. Yeah.
Scientific analysis, and this can be, a big portion of why cases can be overturned years later. Fetal biometric studies. What is that? Is it?
He might. Jason Baldwin? I'd have to Google that. I don't know. Probably. It's possible.
The idea, if you can prove that Connor, their unborn son, was alive after December 24th, there's no way Peterson could have committed the crimes. I mean,
that's exactly
so.
Right.
What is it exactly?
And we had we tried to show that Connor was born and that he was outside of the womb, and there was tape. You also in the setup piece, he had tape around the neck. We thought that was compelling. The prosecution.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the whole tape thing, and it's sometimes you go through these cases years later, and there's so many other cases you forget a lot of shit.
And put on evidence with an expert. That expert has been debunked mightily ever since then, and now there is new science that shows that, in fact, given all of the ultrasounds and everything else,
I'm saying, they have this new thing called DNA, right? And as much as people want to think that DNA is good for catching the bad guys, DNA is also good for exonerating people who didn't commit the crimes, because the only people that you're helping if you convict somebody that's innocent is the people that actually did it.
Else that was done, that in fact he probably was born and was alive for a period of time.
So that's a portion of what we might also hear in tidal pattern data, also in the San Francisco Bay will be interesting as well. While I have you, because we are running out of time, I got to ask you about, there's a development in the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively lawsuit, which, by the way, I thought it was over. I thought they settled, but now there's a fight over money, right? What's going on? Yeah, I know you have some information.
When there was, just as we were getting on air today, the judge in the case filed an order, and it basically said, here it was, I want a response on a couple of discrete issues. You'll remember.
Okay, Paula, thank you for. I was like, who the hell is Jason Baldwin? Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that.
After the judge gutted Lively's case, they then instantly settled. One of the reasons they instantly settled is because if you read the judge's order, the lawyers for Lively had committed egregious, I think, in my opinion, errors that the judge pointed out, wrong jurisdiction, things like that. They instantly went to mediation, tried to insulate themselves from.
In fact, they tried to. They actually tried to pin one of the crimes in New York on one of the Go-Go 4 cases on John Lithrop. And that didn't work, but they were going to do it. They probably would have gotten a guilty verdict for him. Turns out it wasn't him. It was Rex Heumann, because that was one of the things the defense was trying to do in the Rex Heumann case, is get that DNA retested. And they did that, and it didn't come back to Lithrop. It came, so he was kind of exonerated in that crime.
Malpractice.
At least I think that's how it went, something like that.
They came back and said, well, this wasn't really settled. He still has the ability, he being the judge, to file or give us attorney's fees. Well, the order that he just filed, Judge Lyman did today, really calls into question what the attorneys have been for Lively have been saying, and whether or not they misled their client into settling this case.
So
I know one thing, it's warmer here in Vegas than it is here right now. So that's all I care about. Like, I would love to be in Vegas right here, right now, because it's warm. All right, so let's move on to a couple more cases, then we'll get out of here. We'll deal with the cold cases still here. I want to get into this case here. I don't want to forget this one here. Hold on a second here. All right, so this is the A 33-year-old Madison County unalived murder case. New forensic genealogy linked a 70-year-old suspect to a 1993 Madison County murder, bringing long-awaited closure to the victim's family. I mean, who the hell's alive now? It says 1993, right? Well, but somebody is probably. So let's go here. It's always good when they catch these bad guys regardless, though, right?
3 decades-old cold case is solved in Madison County, Illinois. Investigators say new DNA technology helped track down a murder suspect. So they announced charges today. The victim's son says he spent nearly 33 years wondering who killed his mother. And Megan Kernan joins us in studio with reaction.
Mike, Randy Gale Sparino's son, he says he thought he might die before knowing who killed his mother. He tells us he got a phone call last Thursday from investigators explaining that they finally found who did it.
After all these years, nearly 33 years, the crime is finally solved.
Since Wesley Sparino was 15 years old, he grew up not knowing who killed his mother, Randy Gale Sparino.
It's been nearly 33 years since she was taken away from my family, and I never thought that this day would come.
That day came on Tuesday. Madison County officials announced 2 counts of first-degree murder charges against 70-year-old Albert Ziegler in the 1993 killing.
I had tears of joy coming out of my eyes, and I was laughing because I couldn't believe that this is happening. I'll finally get closure with my family. I finally know who did this.
On November 9th, 1993, investigators say 33-year-old Randy Gale Sparino was visiting her father near Granite City before she was murdered.
On Hanfelder Lane, where they found the nude body of a person, a female that had been bludgeoned to death.
Detectives say Ziegler had no known connection to Sparino before offering her a ride. Charging documents say she died from massive blunt force trauma to the head, and say Ziegler admitted to dumping her body in a field.
There was DNA left at the crime scene. Hundreds of people have been interviewed.
That DNA was entered into a federal database for years without a match until investigators turned to forensic genealogy testing.
This is now the second case in Madison.
The Jeb match stuff, the genealogical stuff is just turned all of these cases on their head. Like this is like, in my opinion, it's probably the best type of discovery as a fingerprint. I mean, it's not easy to do, but once they get it locked in, man, that's when they can start getting some answers. But they need funding because a lot of these cases could probably be solved. They just need the funding because it's not cheap to do.
Madison County's history that has charged a defendant using this revolutionary technique.
More than 3 decades later, Wesley Sparino says
Look at this for like it's just, you know, you think about these things here. It's just these people had lives. You know, these people had, you know, dreams, aspirations, and they just got snuffed out. Just sucks.
his family, including his sister, can finally begin a new chapter.
As far as I can remember, she was a lovely mom. It's been 33 years, so just a mom that loved me.
33 years is a lifetime, man. It's
Yeah, I mean, I miss my mom.
Albert Ziegler appeared in Madison County Court just hours after this announcement.
look at this guy. He's pretty much already, I mean, he's a couple shovels away from being buried. You look at, and he's left his whole 33 years of freedom. It's just terrible.
Ziegler will be back in court tomorrow for a detention hearing where prosecutors said they plan to seek detention because of what they called the violent nature of the crime.
I mean, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, right? But hopefully they can get some sort of an answer there. All right, so one more, and then we'll get out of here. You guys have been awesome tonight. Let's see here. We'll do this one. There's a wicked long press conference I'm not going to do on this case here, but I figured I'd share this one here. Let's see here. Okay, this one goes back to 1979. So Cincinnati's 47-year-old mystery solved. Authorities identify the toddler found slain in 1979. This might be a little triggering here. Authorities have identified a toddler found slain in Springfield Township nearly 47 years ago, giving a name to a child who had remained unknown since her body was discovered in 1979. This sucks. It's terrible. All right, let's go here.
Years later, these cases still matter to law enforcement.
A major break in Springfield Township's oldest cold case, the name of Baby Angel.
We're talking about an 18-month-old girl at the time that was heinously murdered and killed, and we couldn't even identify this person.
Baby Angel is Valina Jeter, who was born in Columbus on June 10th, 1977.
This is a case that was solved using forensic investigative genetic genealogy.
Cincinnati police specialist Jeff Smallwood is one of the people behind the discovery.
The genetic genealogists here and the specialists, the detectives, had to build a tree that was over 5,200 people.
5,200 people. That's like getting involved in the worst freaking crossword puzzle you could ever imagine, right? Like that's years ago, no one would have ever thought of doing that. It's crazy.
And then they had to whittle that down to get an answer.
It's a painstaking process. In 2008, Valina's body was exhumed to get DNA, and it was sent off for testing.
Back in 2020 was when the FBI began teaching the Cincinnati, myself, Chad, and Heather, kind of how to use this method and apply it to cold cases. So 2020 was when we kind of learned things. 21 was when we actually started working on this specific case. And then our turning point came last summer when we had kind of some of that cooperation from the community, and we were able to.
We love you too, Paula. It's always good to see Paula here. Paula's an amazing person. She's got a great channel. She does great reviews. Have you done the product movie too yet? Or I want to see that.
To find some close family members and then reach out to them. And then that's what led us to the eventual identification.
Baby Angel's remains will be reburied here at Babyland in Arlington Memorial Gardens. The question is, will her headstone say Baby Angel, or will it say the name she was given at birth?
She now has an identity. She is now going to have a headstone with her name on it, and maybe there's going to be justice for the person who killed her.
Deb Dixon covered this case extensively for Local 12.
The media is standing around this area in Springfield Township, watching them dig, watching them recover remains of a baby. It was
Have a great night, 8675309. Jenny, it's always good to see Jenny here. Thanks, Mustang. Mustang is awesome. You're going to go to bed too. I'm out of here too in about a minute or two. Always good to see you though. Not yet. May have to catch that on streaming. The next movie I'm going with one of my friends. Scary Movie 6. Oh, awesome.
was just so hurtful, but so unusual, but so, drawing me in. I wanted to know more. I wanted to know who she was. How did she die? And where did she come from? And did anyone ever love her?
Many of those questions still remain.
The big piece of the puzzle right now is how did this child.
It's just freaking sad. It's just, I don't like doing this stuff. This is, a baby, a freaking toddler, just cast aside like it wasn't even worth anything. It's just, animals don't even do stuff like this, man. It's just crazy. It's 1979.
I'll get from Columbus, where we know that she lived, where she was born, to the Cincinnati area.
Someone needs to pay for this. Someone needs to pay.
Have a good night, Paula. Love Paula here. I'll be getting out of here soon too. Remember that name, Baby Angel, right? That's just it's tough. It's you can't make this stuff up. It doesn't. I mean, how do you wrap your head around that? All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. See, there's a 35-minute press conference here. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get out of here. Everybody's been great. Mustang, thank you so much. It's always good to see you here. Mustang does all of the work in the chat. Thank you very much, Mustang. Stay safe, stay well. I know you're going through quite the hell. Paula, you're awesome. Have a great night. Dewey Ox, thank you so much for everything tonight. Awesome to see you here. Jenny 8675309, thank you so much for coming in. Always good to see Jenny here. Let's see, I know Leslie and Billy were here. I know Gretchen was here. Always good to see Gretchen, Leslie and Billy. I know Carol was here, Leader Joe. I'm just basically going by memory at this point. I know Tracy was here. Tracy's amazing. Tracy's an amazing person. Good luck with the 15 cats. 15 plus 6, so 21 cats. Let's see here. Peggy O was here. Always good to see Peggy O in the chat. Peggy O's got a great channel. Always good to see Peggy O here. I know JP was in here. JP's got a great channel. Great musician. Critter Mama was here. Critter Mama's awesome. Hope you're well. Fiend was here. Always good to see Fiend. Feel free to check out. I think he got his thing back online here. Not sure. Heather was here. Heather's amazing. We love Heather here. Dino was here. Dino's great. Let's see here. Let's see here. And if I forget people, I apologize. It's just can't always get back up to the top of the chat. Let's see here. Also, I want to thank people on the replay because I know people watch the replay. Shout out to Boston Christian right there. Always good to see Boston Christian. There's JP right there. Good to see JP. Everybody's amazing. Let's see here. Pertinent was in here. Pertinent's amazing. 101 SB was in here. Always good to see 101 SB. Pretty sure I know who that is. Let's see here. Anyways, appreciate all your support. I'm going to get out of here, play my outro, and get out. Good night, Dewey Ox. Have a great night. And shout out to everybody who's not here that I missed. But I'm going to get out of here. Whatever you guys do, don't die. And I'll see you guys next week for the next live. Everybody have a great week and stay safe. It's kind of tough out there right now, but all right, hold on a second. Let me play my outro, and I will see you guys later.